Happy Father's Day to all the great dads out there as we bring you back to Wrigley Field in Chicago, where the Red Sox have a 3-2 lead over the Cubs as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. Help keep dad in the game. Join Major League Baseball in supporting prostate cancer research with the Home Run Challenge. Visit MLBcommunity.org or homerunchallenge.org to learn more. By the way, since its inception 16 years ago, this initiative has raised nearly $40 million for the Prostate Cancer Foundation. We have a change for the Red Sox as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Daniel Nava is into the game. He'll take over in left field for Scott Podsednik, who may have tweaked something on that double play ball to end the top of the 5th inning. Let's get a look at him coming out of the box. And that's not full speed Podsednik right there.
You know, we were looking at each other when he didn't beat out the double play, and then when you look at the replay, you can tell he felt it a step or two out of the box. He knew something was wrong, and that's the way he makes his living with those legs.
And as hot as he's been coming into that bat, hitting 400 since he's been activated by the Red Sox, it's a depressing injury for both the team and player.
Morales pitches into the bottom of the 5th. What a job he has done filling in for the injured Josh Beckett.
It'll be interesting to see how he does now that he was a base runner, had to slide into second.
A strike taken by Luis Valbuena. By the way, we can tell you from the microphones that we have down in the field that we were able to hear Bobby Valentine say to the home plate umpire Brian O'Nora that it was Podsednik's groin. Tweaked a groin on the way down to first, so he is out of the game. Last thing the Red Sox need is another injured outfielder. If there is good news, it's that Cody Ross, who is out injured, may be back with the team as early as Tuesday. And Ross certainly gave them a lift earlier this season when he was healthy. Ross coming back from a broken bone in his foot. Well, he's got nasty stuff for him.
Yeah, exceptional fastball. And then, you know, the breaking ball is good. It's not amazing, but it's really good because it's next to that fastball. And that changeup is coming along. I think they can go both ways with this guy. If they want to go and put him back in the pen, that's one thing, but he could be an effective starter if he can command the ball.
And he has been pounding the strike zone all night with all his pitches.
Bullpen is up. Right-hander Matt Albers begins to throw for the Red Sox.
And getting them to this point in the game, it doesn't upset the routine of your bullpen. They can get to the guys they want to and not get anybody overexposed.
Especially with that off day tomorrow. So even if they had to go with an extra body to get through this game for an extra 1 inning. Where it really kills you is you put the bullpen piece on the mound as a starter, and then he doesn't go well, and then the first piece out of the bullpen doesn't go well. Then it starts to spiral out of control. But this is well in order for the Red Sox right now.
The Red Sox at the moment a game under 500, 32-33, 8 games back of the New York Yankees in the American League East. The Yankees won again today. The Yankees have now won 9 in a row. They defeated Washington today 4-1, and they allowed only 6 runs in the 3-game series against the Nationals.
And fans in Boston, they not only know the Red Sox record, but they know the Yankees record. And they know how many games you're back of the Yankees. They may not know how many you're back at Tampa or Toronto, but they know what it is with the Yankees.
Up-to-date standings in the American League East. Elsewhere in that division, Baltimore won again today. They beat Atlanta 2-0. The Orioles have won 7 of 8. The Blue Jays defeated the Phillies today 6-2. They swept Philadelphia. And Tampa Bay shut out Miami today 3-0. Boy, tough sledding if you're in the American League East trying to gain on some teams, huh? And another strikeout for Morales, number 8. Well, we're talking American League, some of the stories from around the league, and they all originate in the East Division as the Yankees, as we mentioned, have won their 9th consecutive game. Evan Longoria begins a rehab assignment as he works his way closer towards rejoining the Rays, and the Blue Jays lost 3 starting pitchers to the disabled list in a span of 4 days. The most serious injury appears to belong to Kyle Drabeck, his right elbow. Drew Hutchison, Brandon Morrow also on the DL. A broken about roller foul off the bat of Holland.
You know, you lose one of your pitchers and you feel like, okay, we can go to AAA or we can do something to. But when you lose 3 in 4 days, I mean, that's like a body blow to your whole team.
Yeah.
And you got the rhythm of where you're going to get the piece and where was his last work. You're always looking as a pitching coach, as a general manager, as a manager, where is all the pieces fit? If somebody goes down, where can I go for that guy? But it gets really hard when it's 3.
Yeah. And one team probably taking note in particular of what happened in Toronto is the Cubs, because they've got Matt Garza, Ryan Dempster, guys who could be traded. But when you lose so many guys, you start to wonder, if you're Alex Anthopoulos, the GM of the Jays, do you dive in, or is there not that much of a point because you've got so many injuries right now that one guy isn't going to help you?
That's a really fine line. You know, you're trying to show your fans, the guys on your team, that you care. But when, as a general manager, when you lose 3 pitchers, you got to be realistic.
The 0-2 to Mahalan. Morales has struck out the last 4 batters he's faced, and 8 through 4 1/3 tonight as he pitches under the lights here at Wrigley Field. Strikeout number 9.
Well, whatever it is they expected out of Franklin Morales, they have gotten way more. Bobby Valentine looking for innings out of the bullpen. Spot start because Josh Beckett goes on the DL. You think you're going to get somebody to go out there here in Wrigley Field in a night game on Sunday Night Baseball out of your pen and give you this kind of performance with 9 Ks? That's pretty special.
Now, that last pitch was not a good curveball.
No, it was a pitcher hitting, and you're just trying to get it over, give it a little spin.
Put a little wrinkle, and it's good enough. But if he throws that pitch to Reed Johnson, we're gonna have a tie game.
Johnson tonight has doubled and scored and also grounded out. Still throwing hard.
The first strikeout of this inning was 96 miles an hour. Then he sawed off a bat and got a strike with it with a 94 mile an hour. That one right there, just mid-90s, solid. And it doesn't look, he's barely breaking a sweat.
19 batters faced, 15 first pitch strikes.
And that's got location right there, not just velocity. That's on the edge. Back on the rubber, eyes are focused. The game is moving real slow for him right now. He is locked in.
And I'm sure the Red Sox like the idea of their pitching being left-handed. I mean, the Cubs have struggled so bad against left-handers. Everybody on their bench is sitting there as left-hand hitter.
They're just 3-14, the Cubs are, against left-handed starters this year, and they've hit only .224 as a team against left-handed pitching. Slowly hit to second, and the inning is over. What a job by Morales through 5. 3-2 Red Sox, and we'll see the 2 guys in Pedroia and Ortiz who have done some damage for Boston when we come back.
Nice, Mio Energy.
Yep, I always keep it on me.
Woo, yeah! Where do you think he keeps his?
Don't even want to think about it.
More rat got it going on.
Portable power on demand. Mio Energy. I found pain relief strong enough to stand up to my arthritis.
New Icy Hot Arthritis Lotion. Targets arthritis with powerful encapsulated menthol that gets icy to dull pain, hot to relax it away.
For hours and hours of relief.
New Icy Hot Arthritis Lotion.
Power past pain.
When you're a kid, you don't know much about housing markets. You don't know that home ownership builds communities. And you certainly don't know that owning a home contributes to higher self-esteem and better test scores. You just know that home is where you belong. It's where you play, grow, and learn. The National Association of Realtors wants you to know that home ownership matters to our families, our neighborhoods, and our country. Learn more at houselogic.com/home ownership.
She is easy to spot, giving the universal sign of finished. She's lost a lot and water won't put it back. Yes, she is easy to spot. She is also easy to break.
Hydration to help replace what you sweat out. Part of the G series.
Steve Berthume, John Kruk back in our Baseball Tonight studios, ready for the 6th inning in Chicago. The Red Sox lead the Cubs 3-2. Trucker, the Yankees did it again. They sweep the Nats in D.C. Robinson Cano, a home run here.
Great starting pitching, clutch offense, playing great defense. Everything is clicking for the Yankees right now.
Sure is. They've won 9 in a row, 12 of 13 and 19 of their last 23. Earlier, as they win here 4-1 in D.C., we asked you, will the Red Sox make the playoffs? That was our poll question, and the results are in now. It's 62% say no, the Red Sox are not in the postseason.
Well, I agree with them. You know, the thing is, Toronto's better than they have been, and the Baltimore's as good as they have been, and of course Tampa is too, so I don't think they can make it.
All right, Red Sox fans, get you back to Dan Shulman at Wrigley Field.
All right, Bert Krucke, thank you very much. 6th inning here at Wrigley. Dustin Pedroia, first pitch swinging. Fly ball to right field. Johnson just shy of the track, makes the grab, 1 down. Pedroia retired for the first time tonight. Holland working into the 6th inning for the Cubs. There is now activity in the Cub bullpen down the left field line. The batter is Kevin Youkilis, 0 for 2. As you see Sean Camp up and throwing. And the Cubs playing Youkilis to pull right now. Second baseman Barney shading him up the middle. First baseman Baker well off the line against Holland, who doesn't throw particularly hard, high 80s. Youkilis tonight, a fly ball and a strikeout.
And I think we've seen the last of Franklin Morales.
Three and out.
Matt Albers looks like he's warming up to come in the game.
And a strike.
But Matt Albers comes in the game. What a job by Franklin Morales to give Boston this handoff, this lead. And it started out a little rocky. He gave up the run in the first, the man on third, and less than 2 outs.
And I would think as soon as Matt Albers gets in the game, you'll see Andrew Miller up throwing, just so they can counter with all the lefties that Chicago has on the bench.
Miller was up stretching before. Albers is the only reliever who's been throwing. Inside, a ball 4 to Youkilis.
David Ortiz 2 for 2 tonight, a base hit in his first at bat, and he faces Paul Maholm in his second bat, and he's trying to get him out, and he's going to use the whole kitchen sink. He shakes off the cutter, he shakes off the 4-seamer, he shakes off the 2-seamer. He ends up shaking off the curveball and then going to a changeup. It looks like a little slider, but Mahomes likes to cut his changeup to lefties to have it working away, and David Ortiz did a good job staying on it and driving it out of the ballpark.
An RBI single and a home run tonight for David Ortiz. Youkilis at first, 1 down. Pops him up. Valbuena. 2 down.
It's a little cat and mouse right there because he came right back with the same changeup that David hit for a home run, thinking you're not going to see that. I'm going to throw the fastball. No, I threw one. You hit it for a home run. You think I'm not going to throw it? I'm coming right back to it. Little cut changeup. David out in front. Probably David expecting to see something a little firmer since he got a home run on that same exact pitch in the last at bat.
He's got Ortiz talking to himself in the Red Sox dugout. Now strike taken by Mike Aviles, the shortstop, who's 0 for 2. There aren't many guys, Tito, when you look at their setup in the batter's box and how they get ready, there aren't many guys with this much movement. It's coming again.
But as all good hitters, he gets himself into a hitting position, gets that front foot down, and he's a really strong kid.
It's just a timing mechanism.
Yes,
right?
yes, it is. If he can't stay still, he feels like he gets locked up. But if you make a mistake to him, he'll hit it a long way.
Grounder to short. Inning over. To the bottom of the 6th, 2-3-4 coming up for the Cubs. The right-hander Albers coming in for the Red Sox.
This is not my home. There, I said it. They don't have pictures of my kids. They don't have my yoga mat. And still, I feel at home. Could it be the flat screen TV? The not so mini fridge? The different free dinner almost every weeknight? Or maybe it's all of the above and all the rest. Am I home? Nope, but it almost feels that way. Homewood Suites by Hilton. Be at home.
Thanks for the ticket, man.
Thanks to my State Farm agent for saving me $480.
No sweat. Hey, look, we're on fan cam.
Y'all ready for this? Having the extra cash sure helps.
And I can save even more by combining your auto and renter's policies.
Cool. But what if we bought a house?
Auto and home? You have even bigger savings for that.
Wow, sounds good.
More savings any way you shake it.
Want to split some nachos?
Sure.
Get to a better state. State Farm. Knowing your customers is important to any successful business. Which is why at Wells Fargo, we work with you to get to know the unique aspects of your business. We can recommend financial solutions that can work for you that have helped millions of business owners save time, reduce expenses, and maximize cash flow. As the #1 small business lender for 9 years running, we're with you when you need us, so you can be there for your customers. Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far.
Euro 2012. Everything is on the line in the Group C finale. Croatia takes on Spain for the top spot, and Italy needs a win against Ireland. The final matches from Group C tomorrow at 2:30 on ESPN and ESPN2.
Welcome back to ESPN's Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Taco Bell, part of the AL-NL Showdown, presented by State Farm. Wrigley Field in Chicago, the Red Sox and the Cubs. Each team has already won one game in this series. 3-2 Boston leading, bottom 6. New pitcher Matt Albers delivers to Darwin Barney, and the ball is booted down at third by Kevin Youkilis.
It didn't look like he got a bad hop. It just looked like he missed it. He's moving his feet, backs up, gets the big. He just clanked it.
Backing up on the ball.
But I mean, he just.
It wasn't high enough on the hop to get lost in the lights at all. Sometimes here at Wrigley in these night games, the lights are pretty intense on the corners. When they get the high hoppers, they have to look at him off the side. But that, he just looked like you said. Botch.
Barney aboard. Castro the batter. And a strike of the knees from Matt Albers, part of the Boston bullpen. that has been sensational since the first couple of weeks of the season. And you look at everybody's numbers, Tito, up and down the board, they're all contributing.
They've all done great. Matt Albers had a terrific first half last year and kind of tailed off at the end. Not a bad time now again to put a runner in motion with a hitter that swings at a lot of pitches and makes contact.
Bobby was quick to point out, Bobby Valentine, the manager of the Red Sox, was quick to point out that the slow start for the bullpen was a lot about those guys were all used to starting and training as a starters, and 14 days into the season, these guys are, you know, back-to-back outings in their bullpen, and they're got to really make up for Melanson not doing very well, and the injury to Bailey.
And Andrew Miller down there throwing is just to tell Del Swaim, don't start emptying those lefties on that bench. Keep Brian LaHair and David DeJesus right where they are.
See the improvement for the Red Sox bullpen since the third week of April. Miller's been a part of that as well. The guy's always had trouble harnessing his mechanics and his command. Castro with an RBI triple and an RBI double. Barney aboard to lead off the sixth. A little bit low. Albers has also spent time in the big leagues with the Astros and the Orioles before becoming a member of the Red Sox. Morales goes 5 innings tonight, gives up 2 runs. He struck out 9. Runner goes, and a chopper, a fair ball toward the mound. Nobody can make a play on it. It'll be about a 12-foot base hit for Starlin Castro, who's now 3 for 3.
And they put the hit and run on because he's a contact hitter and he swings and he put the ball in play. I don't think he expected to get a hit out of this. Good things happen when you play the game right.
Starlin Castro's living right tonight. The bloop double. Now a little 12-foot single.
I think Kelly Shopik thought this was going to be fielded by Matt Albers, and all of a sudden he's got the mat still in his hand when that ball dies. A little mix-up on coming out from behind the plate.
So an error and then an infield hit. 2 on with a nobody out for Soriano. Soriano will strike out of a ground ball tonight. He's hit a dozen home runs, all of them since May the 15th. Wind blowing out. And a guy perfectly capable of turning this game around with one swing of the bat. 0-2.
And Dale Swaim sitting over there with all these left-hand hitters on the bench. David DeJesus, Brian LaHair, and Steve Clevenger, some of his better hitters. And he knows the minute he brings them in, Andrew Miller's coming in the game.
Albers in a jam through no fault of his own here this inning. Well, he can hook a ball with the best of them, can't he?
Never ceases to amaze me that the fans think they can catch it without a glove.
Everybody's all right. Dad's never tougher than he is on Father's Day at the ballpark. And kids be wondering, kids giving the dad a ball. Well, Soriano keeps fighting.
For Matt Albers, if he doesn't get the strikeout, keep the ball down, try to get a double play. That's what his strengths are.
Barney at second, Castro at first, nobody out. Broken bat roller to third, charged by Youkilis to second. They get the out there. on a very close play. It'll be a fielder's choice for Soriano. First and third, one down.
Kevin Youkilis, remember, he started this inning off with the error down there at third base, and he stays aggressive here and goes for the lead runner at second. It's close, but they got him. But Youkilis could have taken the easy way out and gone across the diamond at first, but he kept the double play in order by getting that runner at second. It's a nice aggressive play right there to back up the error.
Cubs just 1 for 6 tonight now with the runners in scoring position. Jeff Baker will stay. And he hits a chopper back toward the mound. And another misplay by the Red Sox. The Cubs have tied it.
Oh, and that's something you go over and over. The pitcher looks back. We see him every time there's a runner at first. Who has the bag? And they miscommunicated. They both went after it.
Albers makes a nice aggressive turn and throws it right back over the bag, and whoever's got it, Pedroia's going to get this ball. He's going to be able to come across the bag to the shortstop side and make the turn. If not, Aviles is going to be able to come right across in the middle.
Pedroia had the bag there, but Aviles was coming in to make the play if it went over Albers' head, and he got himself in no man's land. Yes, exactly.
And Bobby V not happy. The scoring on the play is fielder's choice RBI because you cannot assume a double play. And then the error is charged to Aviles, the shortstop, for dropping the ball, allowing Soriano to be safe at second. The game is tied. And the batter is Mather. And this goes back to what you were talking about, Terry. Dale Swaim could be making moves here. He could be bringing in his left-handed batters. Then he'd get Andrew Miller. So Bobby Valentine has said, okay, here's your choice. Do what you want to do. And Swaim has decided not to bring in the lefties. He'd rather have the right-handed hitters facing the righty and Albers.
Their left-handers on the bench that are normally their regular players are struggling so much versus left-hand pitching that he's just going to let these guys play it out.
Right now, the way things are going for the Red Sox, if the Cubs can just put the ball in play, good things are going to happen. 2 errors and a little dribbler of an infield hit for the Cubs already this inning. Runners are going. The ball put in play. Albers to first for the second out. As the runners advance, Soriano aggressively stealing third, making a big turn too on that throw to first base.
That looked like the old Soriano from years back.
Second and third, 2 down for the catcher Wellington Castillo. The Cubs, thanks to the generosity of the Red Sox in the field this half inning, have tied the game at 3 here in the bottom of the 6th. And now Mark Melancon, a right-hander, has joined Andrew Miller in the pen. Melancon originally was supposed to be the 8th inning guy for the Red Sox. Pitched so poorly at the beginning of the season that he was down in the minors within a couple of weeks. Pitched very well at AAA Pawtucket and now back in the big leagues.
Albers' ball, he is really sinking it good. I mean, they are just skimming the top of the ball. Their ground balls probably total, I don't know, 120 feet the way they've been.
His ball has so much life through the through the zone downward.
It's really heavy. I'll get you to play catch with him. It's like hard to catch.
There's not been a hard hit ball in the inning. And another grounder. And this time the play is made and the inning is over. The Cubs, though, get 1, all tied up at 3.
You're looking good, you know you do. Your whole crew got that old attitude. But it's okay, baby, you deserve it. You just dancing over there like what Hey, you, I really wanna know
Fourth meal. Sometimes the best dinner is after the dinner.
In the course of battle, you can find 100 different reasons to give up. But you got to find that one reason to stay. One reason to stay in the fire. That's the guy that wins every single time.
This summer, our greatest battle will be fought between the living and the dead. Rated R, Friday.
So, we'd appreciate your cooperation in this little matter.
What matter?
You know what matter.
What? I don't.
You know what this is about.
What's about?
You seem like you know some things.
He doesn't know anything.
Well, I know some things.
So you do know.
No, I don't know.
You know, and you know. He knows. He knows.
What was that about?
There's no idea.
When you drive a Sonata, people might think you know something they don't. The Sonata from Hyundai.
Mischievous rain had an ominous plan, but safety was brought by the Michelin Man. Stop up to 31 feet shorter than a leading competitor with the new Michelin Defender tire, backed by a 90,000-mile warranty. Michelin, a better way forward.
You know it as the long ball. The State Farm Home Run Derby airs Monday, July 9th at 8 p.m. on ESPN.
Always one of the baseball season's most popular events, the 2012 State Farm Home Run Derby from Kansas City, Monday, July the 9th at 8 Eastern on ESPN. Changes for the Cubs. Reed Johnson moves from right field to center field. David DeJesus comes on in right field, put him in the 9th spot in the batting order. And the new pitcher for the Cubs, who goes into the 6th spot in the order, is right-hander Sean Kemp. We are tied at 3, top 7. Darnell McDonald fouls it back. 0-2. Tito, you saw Camp a lot with the Blue Jays when you were with the Red Sox. What do you like about him?
You know what? He'd go out there, and he's not very big. He doesn't throw very hard, but he can get left-handers out. He sinks it. He throws a changeup. And he found a way to exist through the AL East, which isn't easy to do.
Ball ripped down the left field line, but just fouled.
And he pitched a lot of games in Toronto, and you know, you look at him and you see 89, 90, and he just gets you out. I'm sure Theo Epstein saw the same thing. That's why he's here.
Yeah, there's long been that notion, or if you can make it in the American League East, you can make it anywhere.
Exactly, with all the powerhouse offenses there and the ballparks to pitch through, and you can pitch through those lineups and not give up. Give up some runs, but not give up. You've got character and you understand how to pitch.
The 0-2 to Darnell McDonald. Breaking ball hit in the air to left center field. Trouble off the wall on a bounce. Soriano spins and fires towards second. Not in time. McDonald is aboard with a leadoff double. And we've got a pinch hitter announced into the game now. Jared Saltalamacchia is going to bat for Kelly Shopik. We also have the Cub bullpen going. Left-hander James Russell is up. Dale Swain considering his options. Bobby Valentine doing the same. Saltalamacchia, who homered yesterday, his 12th of the season. A productive year for the Boston catcher.
I thought Dale Swain might go get his lefty right here to turn Saltalamacchia around. We got Kalish up. Got a pinch hitter in Daniel Nava, who's much better left-hand hitter.
Kalish on deck. Saltalamacchia will face Camp. And he lines a base hit into right field. McDonald will be held at third. And Saltalamacchia goes into second as the cutoff man Baker could not handle the throw.
And the Red Sox caught a huge break there.
Yep.
I think Saltalamacchia was assuming there was going to be a play at the plate, ran with his head down, and boy, they caught a huge break there.
The base hit. He's checking over there. He sees him running, but Jerry Royster went way down the line, held him up late because he don't want to run into an out this early in the inning, and Salty thought he assumed, and he's lucky he wasn't out from here to wherever.
Now Dale Swain will make the change. The Red Sox threatening to reclaim the lead here in the top of the 7th. Russell on his way in from the Cubs pen.
Our cloud is not soft and fluffy. Our cloud is made of bedrock, concrete, and steel. Our cloud is the smartest brains combating the latest security threats. It spans oceans, stretches continents, and is scalable as far as the mind can see. Our cloud is the cloud other clouds look up to. Welcome to the UpperNet. Verizon.
This is the first car that I've been totally in love with in every way, shape, and form. It's my dream vehicle. On a day-to-day basis, I am not using gas. My round trip is approximately 40 miles to work. Head on home, stop at the grocery store, whatever else that I need to do. Still don't have to use gas. I'm never at the gas station unless I want some coffee. It's the best thing ever. As a matter of fact, I'm taking my savings so that I can go to Hawaii.
ESPN Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell is brought to you by Gatorade. Gatorade knows it all begins within. Win from within. And the all-new Mazda CX-5 with 35 highway miles per gallon. Back in Chicago, Dan Schulman, Terry Francona, Oral Hershiser, Buster Olney. Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. Interleague Baseball on ESPN. The Red Sox and Cubs. The Red Sox have runners at second and third with nobody out here in the 7th. Darnell McDonald began the inning with a double. Went to third on a base hit by Jared Saltalamacchia, who took second on what was originally ruled an error on Jeff Baker when he dropped the ball, but the scoring has now been changed to just second on the throw. Either way, 2 on, nobody out. Left-hander James Russell, who has stranded every inherited runner that he has inherited. I said inherited twice. I worked myself into a corner there and I couldn't get out of it.
And you're such a wordsmith.
He has stranded every runner he has inherited this year. You weren't helping me at all, by the way.
I'm looking at the infield. I'm looking at the Cubs infield again because this is interesting. Second and third, nobody out. They're playing that kind of that halfway where they're putting some pressure on Darnell McDonald and Jerry Royster, and he's trying to get Saltalamacchia's attention to tell him what they're doing so he doesn't run Darnell off the bag.
Ryan Kalish a strikeout and a ground out. Will Middlebrooks is out in the on-deck circle for the Red Sox. Reaching for it, Looper to center field, a base hit. 1 run in, Saltalamacchia to third, Boston leads.
It was a good piece of hitting and good base running by Saltalamacchia there to get to third base to read that ball. He got off second base, but I'll tell you what, you want one breaking ball in the dirt, he waves at you, can't come back with a better one. I know that's a ball, but it's higher and not as wide as the first one. So you commit the hitter on the first one, you make him swing and miss wider. When you then bring the ball closer to the strike zone, even though you made him look terrible, it's not as good a pitch.
So Boston has the lead back. And trouble still brewing for the Cubs. 2 on, nobody out. Here's Middlebrooks, hitting .289 with 6 homers in 128 at-bats. Came up to the bigs when Youkilis went on the DL and just has consistently swung a potent bat ever since. In the air to center field. Not that deep. Saltalamacchia will tag. Here he comes. Here comes the throw. And now a throw goes into center field on the return play from Castillo, the catcher. So the run will score, and Kalish will wind up at third.
And those are the things that are going to drive Dale Slame. Give him a headache. That's part of the growing pains. I mean, when you compound, this is just a sac fly. It's one run, but now you missed a cutoff man. You have no play at second. You throw it anyway, and an aggressive runner like Kalish ends up on third. Now you got to bring the infield in. You compounded mistakes.
So a sac fly for Middlebrooks to make it 5-3. Kalish goes to second on the throw home and goes to third on the error charged to the catcher Castillo. And here's Nava, his first at bat of the night. Gets the bunt down on the squeeze, and they'll score the run easily. 6-3.
And you could see it coming. You could see it coming all the way.
And just like that, 3 runs in a heartbeat for the Red Sox.
That's Daniel Nava's side of the plate where he doesn't swing the bat real well. They went through a bunch of signs, got Nava's attention, and they executed it very well.
3 hits in the inning, an error, a sac fly, and a squeeze, and just like that, 6-3 Red Sox. With 2 outs, nobody on, and the batter Pedroia.
Bobby V did a good job getting it on right there in the first pitch. Cubs on their heels, kind of the ball flying around the infield and outfield, and then not really on your toes to be up, heads up for a squeeze right there. So come right on the first pitch before they catch their breath.
And a pop-up. Who's got it? Barney staggering will make the catch to end the inning. 7th inning stretch. The Red Sox lead 6-3.
This is John Jones. Tap Out XT, come and get it.
This is Tap Out XT. You're gonna work every piece of your body.
Now you can scorch the fat and get outrageously ripped results like these with the complete Tap Out XT system.
You wanna look like a fighter? You gotta train like a fighter.
Go online to try TapOutXT.com. Get ripped and you can get this Tap Out t-shirt free. That's try TapOutXT.com.
Meet the next generation Dremel Multimax, the most powerful and versatile Multimax tool ever. Its 2.5 amp motor gives you the performance to handle the toughest jobs. And with its exclusive hook blade and jab saw accessories, performing unique cuts has never been easier, so you can power through more projects than ever before. To learn more, visit Dremel.com. The next generation Dremel Multimax. Repair, remodel, restore, faster.
The all-new 6 Series Grand Coupe. The first ever 6 Series with 4 doors. It's truly a sight to behold. We only make one thing, the ultimate driving machine.
Here's to pets. And all the things that make a house a home. Coldwell Banker, where home begins.
Welcome back to Chicago as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. High above Wrigley Field. The Cubs trail the Red Sox 6-3. This is your view if you're on one of the rooftop buildings from Waveland Avenue. Beyond the left field fence looking toward the right field corner. You can also be on the other side of Sheffield on a rooftop looking in from right field. Pretty good view. Pretty cool place.
You know, we came up the elevator to get up here to the press box, then walk along the left field line here down the upper deck, and what do we say to each other? Never get tired of it. All baseball. As soon as you walk in, all baseball.
Grass needs a little work. They'll take care of that after the concert this year. But other than that, it's as pretty as it always is. Left-hander Andrew Miller is into the game.
And this sets up really well for the Red Sox. Valbuena, De Jesus, and the 9-hole left-handed. This has worked out about as well as they could have hoped.
Hi.
Miller, a guy who came up as a big-time prospect. Great stuff. Was supposed to be a starter. First-round pick by the Tigers. Eventually went to Florida, going the other way in the Miguel Cabrera deal. Didn't really work out there after a few years. Career ERA high in the 5s, about 5.80 coming into this season. What has turned it around for him?
He's very cerebral. You know, when he was a high draft pick out of the University of North Carolina by Detroit, he threw way across his body, and I think they tried to straighten that out, which is understandable. And he really, his velocity crept down as he went to the Marlins. And now it seems like he's found a happy medium where he's still a little bit across his body, but because he's a lot more athletic kid than people realize, and he has a real good feel for his breaking ball.
Or there's always been a feeling that left-handers take longer to develop and that tall pitchers take longer to develop, and he's both.
Yeah, the left hand maybe zoning in on the strike zone of what you need to throw here, and then he's tall, and that's hard to get that lever system lined up sometimes. What I really like about his delivery now is it looks like his leg kick and his shoulder movement, they really match his arm slot. I never really thought that the leg kick and the way the shoulders rotated around the hips here at the end, the way the glove comes across, and now the arm slot's nice at a low 3/4, not sidearm, high sidearm or low 3/4.
Oops.
And I think he really does have a chance to get the ball in the area now.
As he throws one to the backstop.
Well, that's okay. You know, he got it within the area code there.
This will get the bullpen going.
So the leadoff man is aboard for the Cubs here in the bottom of the 7th. It seems like these teams are kind of taking turns trying to give the game away. A lot of it has been with defense tonight as Melancon gets up in the Boston pen.
When you score runs, you come out in the next inning, you want to shut the team down, and by walking the first hitter is not the way to do it.
David De Jesus gets his first at bat. The runner is going. The throw down. They got him. Valbuena trying to take advantage of the ball bouncing away from Saltalamacchia, who's catching for the first inning tonight after pinch hitting last inning, and Saltalamacchia throws him out.
This is a strong throw. The ball gets away from him right here, but he keeps presence of mind to say, you know what, I got a shot. Gets his feet lined up even before he picks the ball up, and he guns it right on the bag. Tell you what, the little deke slide out there, he might have been better off just sliding straight in. He's going to give him one arm and take it away and use the left arm to get in there. If he just goes straight into the bag, he might be safe. Comes down and he goes for the, oh, he just stuck on him.
And the Cubs are going to be kicking themselves here. I mean, Andrew Miller's trying to create a rally kind of by himself. I mean, right there, you got to be 100% sure that you're going to be safe.
Not technically a caught stealing because he didn't try to advance until the ball bounced away from the catcher. So he is out 2-6, caught advancing, caught trying to advance is the official scoring on the play. And here is De Jesus. On the season hitting .261 with a couple of homers.
But like a lot of the Chicago hitters, really struggles against left-handers, hitting 143. LaHair hitting just a hair above 100. And that's why they're 3-14.
And there it is, backing those numbers up. Miller shaking off Saltalamacchia a couple of times. Down the left field line, and the catch is made by Nava. 2 down. The ALNL showdown continues this week on ESPN and ESPN2. First, tomorrow night, 7 Eastern here on ESPN. It's the Atlanta Braves heading to the Bronx to take on the New York Yankees. Wednesday night baseball at 7 on ESPN2. It'll be the Cardinals and the Tigers. Monday night baseball presented by USAA. Wednesday night baseball on ESPN2. Both games at 7 Eastern. Melanson will be the latest pitcher in from the Boston pen when we come back.
Thanks for the ticket, man.
Thanks to my State Farm agent for saving me $480.
No sweat. Hey, look, we're on fan cam.
Y'all ready for this? Having the extra cash sure helps.
And I can save even more by combining your auto and renter's policies.
Cool. But what if we bought a house?
Auto and home? We have even bigger savings for that.
Wow, sounds good.
More savings any way you shake it.
Want to split some nachos?
Sure.
Get to a better state. State Farm.
Our cloud is not soft and fluffy. Our cloud is made of bedrock, concrete, and steel. Our cloud is the smartest brains combating the latest security threats. It spans oceans, stretches continents, and is scalable as far as the mind can see. Our cloud is the cloud other clouds look up to. Welcome to the UpperNet. Verizon.
Looks like our work is done here. I'm heading home. Need some help, ma'am? Oh, thank you. These things are heavy.
Built for work and everything you work for.
Hey, honey, glad you're home.
The Chevy Silverado, our most powerful HD yet. From fathers to sons, Chevy runs deep.
Back here in Chicago, we'll look at some of the highlights tonight. A home run in the fourth inning by David Ortiz, giving the Red Sox a 3-2 lead. The Cubs would get it back. Some sloppy defense from Boston. This error charge to Michael Vilas. A run scores to tie to 3, but then the Red Sox get 3 in the top of the 7th, including a run on a squeeze by Daniel Nava as Bobby Valentine's Red Sox execute. And they've got the lead here in the 7th inning. Let's take a look now at our game track. Brought to you by Ram. Each team has won once in the series. Boston holding the lead here tonight. How about Franklin Morales coming out of the pen in place of the injured Josh Beckett and delivering a gem over 5 innings. Big night for Starlin Castro with a triple, a double, and a single, although the double was a bloop and the single was a squib. But he'll take both. As the Red Sox go to the pen again, right-hander Mark Melanson, who pitched himself right out of Boston and down to the minor leagues in just a couple of weeks. Look at how ugly the numbers are. And he's pitched twice well since he got back. He couldn't get anybody out early in the year.
When he was here, it was up and near the middle, and down in AAA, it was down and by the corners, and that's what Bobby Valentine said it's been so far. And there it is right there. That's where he's been living since he's turned it around.
Now, what this does, though, for the Cubs, it allows them to use their left-hand hitters because Franklin Morales was the Red Sox second lefty. So they're out of left-handers down there.
And a swing and a miss, 1-2. The count on Reed Johnson. 2 outs, nobody on. A right-hander Melanson just coming into the game, and the bullpen is going again as Bobby Valentine has right-hander Scott Atchison up in the pen. Checking his charts, his combinations and his permutations, working over the bubble gum.
Permutations.
Combinations and permutations.
Wow. I'm bringing a math term next time I'm with you.
What was that other profession you were thinking about doing? What was that called?
Actuary. You know what's great? Tom Archer just told me in my headset in case I forgot what it was.
I thought that was running a funeral home.
It's like 3 steps removed from that.
Yeah.
Whoa. Johnson gets drilled on a 1-2 pitch. And Brian Onora out from behind the plate, just making sure everybody's calm.
I don't think that ended up where it was intended. There's no message there. That just got away.
So Johnson is aboard. Now, if you're Melanson and you've struggled and you've just come back from the minors and you're brought in, and right away there's another guy up in the pen. I mean, is that, you see that here? You can't avoid seeing it here. Is that in the back of your mind?
I think it is. But again, Bobby Valentine has a responsibility to the Red Sox also.
Right.
And they have a day off tomorrow. And he's got some guys down there that have been pretty good. I mean, Vicente Padilla, Alfredo Aceves, they've been very reliable. Scott Atchison has been remarkable.
There's Aceves, the closer. At the knees for a strike. 1-1 the count on Darwin Barney. Barney denied a pop-up, base hit, and he's reached on an error. He scored a couple of runs. Starlin Castro, who's a home run shy of the cycle, is on deck.
And Darwin Barney, again, along the Cub lines, hits right-handers better than left-handers.
You know, getting a guy on a roll, rebuilding his confidence with Melanson and Bobby Valentine's relationship. You know, he brings him in with a lead. That gives you confidence. He brings him in with 2 out, nobody on. All right, I've got a chance to get a 0 and get us in the dugout. And he gives him a situation that he can get him up the tunnel with a positive outing. And Bobby is, not only do you do workload and matchups, but confidence in getting guys on a roll.
And the hard thing is, and Mark Melanson, his last 2 outings in the big leagues have been good, but he's going to have the ability to look up at the scoreboard and see a high ERA for a while and not let it get inside his head.
And you can't bring it down in 1 inning or 2 innings. Just like a hitter, you can't hit a 5-run homer when you're up there at the plate. You've got to just work at it.
20 saves a year ago with Houston. Bouncer back to the mound. And Melanson gets the out he needed. 7 in the books at Wrigley. It remains the Red Sox 6 and the Cubs 3.
If you can hold your nachos with one hand, you can be a hero with the other. Taco Bell's new beefy nacho burrito. It's the 2-handed nachos you love in a 1-handed burrito for only 99 cents.
In a recent poll, 22% of Americans said they believe the world will end in their lifetime.
The asteroid is set to collide with Earth.
They were right.
This is the Titanic.
I've been with a different girl every day, you know?
No, I don't. I don't? That's Olivia.
Is she the one that got away?
Well, they all got away.
Let's go find her.
Steve Carell, Keira Knightley.
You have a lot of guns and a lot of potato chips.
Seeking a friend for the end of the world.
I hope a booth is okay. We burned all the chairs in a bonfire.
Rated R starts Friday.
This is the land of giants. Home of the brave. It's where fear goes unwelcome. And certain men find a way to rise above. This is the land of giants. Guts, glory, Ram.
I'm a Major League Baseball All-Star.
I didn't get here by chance.
I didn't take the road of easy or the path of the painless.
I worked hard to take this field.
For my team.
For my league.
Some call it an all-star break.
It's not a break.
It's not a break. Where we play on.
Because the battle for the postseason begins now.
I play for the American League.
Juego para la Liga Americana.
I play for the National League. I will win.
I will win.
I will win. The road to October starts here.
The MLB All-Star Game, July 10th.
Welcome back to Wrigley Field, and again, a happy Father's Day to all the dads out there watching baseball tonight with their loved ones. Tonight's aerial coverage is brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. 8th inning at Wrigley, 6-3 Red Sox. Right-hander Jairo Asensio is into the game to pitch for the Cubs. Kevin Youkilis leading off the inning for Boston. Asensio claimed off waivers June the 1st from Cleveland. He's also had some big league time with Atlanta. The pitch runs inside, and the count 2-1 on Youkilis with David Ortiz on deck.
And I think what we'll see is when David Ortiz, if he gets on base, most likely Nick Punto will run for him, go to third base, and they'll move Youkilis to first.
Youkilis rips the ball into left field for a base hit. And you can hear how many Red Sox fans are in the house. That's the easiest way to find out how many Red Sox fans are on the road when Youkilis does something, to hear how many of them are chanting his name. And again, Cub fans say it's probably fewer tonight than there were Saturday or Friday. But a ton of Red Sox fans and even more Tigers fans. Justin Verlander said it felt like a home game when he pitched here this week.
Well, I know you walk in our lobby of our hotel. I felt like we were in Boston.
Here's Ortiz, 2 for 3, including a home run. When you manage the Red Sox, I think I know the answer to this question. What city did you see the most Red Sox fans in? What visiting city?
Baltimore.
That's what I thought.
Baltimore. They made packages, and people, you know, because Baltimore wasn't drawing real well at the time, and people enjoyed going there. It's a nice stadium.
Ball and a strike on Ortiz.
I made the mistake a couple of nights of, after tough losses, walking back to the hotel. Well, I'll tell you, some of those people will tell you where you messed up, man.
So you had talk radio the whole way home, huh?
Well, you get a lot of help in 6 blocks.
Big swing by Ortiz, 1-2. Just you walking by yourself from the ballpark back to the hotel?
Sometimes, you know, it's relaxing. You think it would be relaxing.
Yeah.
I'd give my briefcase to Jack McCormick, the traveling secretary, and walk back thinking it would be relaxing, and never realizing that I was going to get 30 bench coaches.
So how long did it take you to realize that? Did you make more than one walk and thought, I'll go a new path?
I tried different ways. It didn't work.
They are here in big numbers here in Chicago. The Red Sox and the Cubs, with Boston leading 6-3. And down and in, a full count.
Now, Youkilis doesn't run like he used to at all, and he was never a burner. But I wouldn't be surprised if they put him in motion. Asensio was really slow to plate. David Ortiz swinging the bat really well. You're up. If they're ever going to do it, this will be the time they'll do it.
Youkilis the lead, being held by Baker. Nobody out in the inning. Not going, and a swing and a ground ball into the shift. And a little indecision there. They only get the 1 out. As Castro, the shortstop, was trying to decide, do I flip to Valbuena, the third baseman? And eventually he decided just to make the play himself.
Again, you're playing a shift there where guys maybe aren't real comfortable, and Castro's kicking himself right now. But there was some indecision. He didn't. Do I tag him? Do I go to? And lucky got an out.
Yeah, Kevin Youkilis' feet comes in and touches the bag.
If he slides instead of trying to break it up, he's going to be safe.
That's a weird play all the way around. Here's Aviles. So Ortiz at first on the fielder's choice, 1 down in the inning. Aviles is 0 for 3.
And I really thought they'd run for Ortiz here, just because he doesn't play first base all that much, and you've gotten out of him what you need.
Got Adrian Gonzalez too, but Bobby Valentine told us before the game that he kind of wanted to give Gonzalez a couple of days off. He's been playing a lot of outfield. That's not something that he normally does. They've got an off day tomorrow. Two bench players left for the Red Sox, Gonzalez and Punto.
Franklin Morales, who made a huge impact on this game, coming out of the bullpen.
Am I missing something, or are the fashion police, are they easing off on this this stuff in the dugout?
T-shirts in the dugout?
Man, I like that.
You like?
Jeez, those guys used to drive me crazy.
The fashion police?
Yeah.
Remember when Joe Madden, does he still wear the hoodie? Remember the fashion police got him? I think it was MLB fashion police said he can't wear a hoodie, and I think he had a jersey on under the hoodie, but he, it wasn't.
Terry liked to wear the pullover windbreaker type thing, and sometimes he did not have a jersey on underneath it at all times, I don't think.
They actually checked me in the 5th inning of a game at Yankee Stadium.
Who are these people?
It was the fashion police. And Jeter was on second.
Yeah.
And I told that guy, I said, if he steals third, I'm going to assassinate you.
Fashion police. What do you think?
And I told Joe Torre the story, and he thought it was hilarious. So when Joe took over, I didn't get any more letters.
By the way, that's a violation.
Is that a violation?
That's a violation.
Fine.
That tie is a foul, even if you have it on right.
Oh God! Look at you. It's the same colors as maybe like the Johnny Carson curtain back when he was on late night.
There's ball 4. First and second, one out. Here in the 8th inning at Wrigley Field, we'd like to welcome those of you who just may be tuning into Sunday Night Baseball in the aftermath of the Heat's win over the Thunder to take a 2-1 lead in the series. Boston leading Chicago 6-3 in the rubber match of this series. Darnell McDonald swinging a ground ball to short, bobble to second, safe. And an error charged on Castro.
When Dale Swain been raving about how Castro had been playing and how sure-handed and how he's making all the plays, and he's had a rough inning.
The big story of the night really is the starting pitcher tonight for the Red Sox, Franklin Morales, who came out of the bullpen because Josh Beckett just went on the DL with some tendonitis in his shoulder. And Morales, not only did he go 5 innings in his first start in the big leagues in 3 years, but he struck out 9 batters. Oral, he was outstanding.
He pounded the strike zone there. We just saw a whole bunch of 2-strike pitches. He was up with the fastball to get people out, down, and he used his 3rd pitch tonight. That changeup, those last 2 pitches, really was effective. You're out of the bullpen, mainly fastball, curveball, but that changeup, he really brought that along, and manager Bobby Valentine really impressed that upon him today.
Ortiz, the runner at third. Vilas out at second, and McDonald is at first. 1 out. Some sloppy fielding this inning from the Cubs. Last inning as well. The Red Sox have had their moments in the field tonight. Chance to really break it open for Saltalamacchia, but the count is 0-2.
And in this ballpark, getting another run is always welcome. And with those flags, you'll take every run you can get.
Well, there's only one time it's not a hitter's park, and that's when the flags are blowing in. So even when they're blowing straight down or slightly out, ball carries pretty well here.
Those alleys are really reachable.
Yeah, only 368 to the power alleys here at Wrigley. Saltalamacchia found the bleachers last night. 0-2 swing, ground ball to first. There's one. And they cannot turn the double play, so a run comes in to score. Fielder's choice RBI, 7-3.
For a big man, Salty runs pretty good.
He smelled that RBI. And Darwin Barney did an unbelievable job of getting over there, but he might have gotten in the way. But those instincts for him to even have a chance to be there are really impressive.
So the lead up to 4 now for the Red Sox. They got 3 last inning, 1 more here in the 8th. First and third, 2 down, and the batter was Kalish. Got an RBI single his last time up. To Tonight his 2012 Major League debut.
And if this kid can stay injury free, and I know it's been a long road for him, his future's really bright. It's like a sponge.
Shoulder and neck problems costing him all of last year, at least in terms of Major League time. Count 0-2.
And I asked him today, about his neck, and he said good enough. He's a tough kid. Got a little bit of Trot Nixon in him.
Dirt dog, you mean? That kind of stuff, yeah?
Left-hander, plays hard, gets dirty.
Everybody plays hurt. It's the injured ones that have to go on the DL, but everybody's got aches and pains.
But to be able to produce while you're nicked up, that's a lot of guys can't do that.
It is the difference sometimes between an everyday player and a utility player or a bench player. They just can't hold up. And they need to be perfect to produce.
High fly ball center field. Johnson still going back, makes the catch on the track to end the inning. To the bottom of the 8th at Wrigley. Red Sox 7, Cubs 3.
X Games Los Angeles starts June 28th on ESPN2. Presented by Ford.
Pepsi Next.
What's Pepsi Next?
It's a new cola from Pepsi. It's got real cola taste, but 60% less sugar.
Real cola taste, 60% less sugar.
I know.
It's unbelievable.
This is the most impressive thing I've ever experienced in my entire life.
Introducing Pepsi Next. Drink it to believe it.
You're at the age where you don't get thrown by curveballs. This is the age of knowing how to get things done. So why let erectile dysfunction get in your way? Talk to your doctor about Viagra. 20 million men already have. Ask your doctor if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain. It may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing. This is the age of taking action. Viagra. Talk to your doctor.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
ESPN Sunday Night Baseball is presented by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Mas. And in part by Seeking a Friend for the End of the World in theaters Friday. And Ram Trucks. Guts, Glory, Ram. Back at Wrigley Field, Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. Bottom of the 8th inning, and the visiting Red Sox holding a 7-3 lead. Changes for the Red Sox. New third baseman Nick Punto. But it's not Kevin Youkilis who goes across the field to play first. Youkilis is out of the game. David Ortiz is still in the game at first base. The new pitcher is right-hander Scott Atchison. Atchison tied for second in the American League with 35 1/3 innings pitched already this season. You can see how stingy he's been all season long. What makes him good, Tito?
He throws strikes. He works quick. He throws his breaking ball, and then he throws his fastball, and he kind of pitches backwards. And he's having a terrific year. and he's had to earn everything he's gotten in the big leagues, and he's so reliable.
Starlin Castro is the batter. He's going to line a ball to right field. That'll be caught by McDonald. One down. Let's go down to Buster Olney now for more on Castro.
Theo Epstein, the Cubs president, has made it clear this summer he's not interested in trading Starlin Castro. But guys, I've talked with general managers with other teams who do think that during this upcoming offseason he will talk about possibly trading Castro for a couple of reasons. One, right now the Cubs need a volume of prospects, and Castro could be flipped for 2 or 3 really good young players. And two, other executives are wondering if Castro really fits the way Theo likes his hitters to be, which are more patient hitters who draw walks. Castro, of course, only 6 walks this season.
And Soriano with the ground ball. 2 down. That is remarkable that in this, the 66th game for the Cubs, that a guy who bats near the top of the order and has played in every game has 6 walks the whole season.
He's got a magic wand. That's what Dale Swaim said. And tell you what, he's got one of those guys who's got a steering wheel on the ball. Once he hits it, he finds holes. He hits the ball hard. If he gets a little more plate discipline, he'll probably hit for a lot more power too, because he'll get better pitches. But if you trade him for 2 top prospects, you're hoping to get somebody like him back. So I don't really see how you can trade somebody with that much ability and that young.
Well, I think they want to build their team around him. I just think they want him to learn to swing it more strikes so he can be more productive and not just hit a bunch of singles, because I think they all feel like he's got some power in there.
But they just fired Rudy Jaramillo because of a philosophical difference. Not that Rudy doesn't know how to teach hitting, isn't a great hitting instructor. They just said there might have been a philosophical difference there, and maybe a new philosophy. He improves that part of his game, and that discipline will be there.
3 for 4 tonight, has committed an error. And Steve Clevenger comes up as a pinch hitter for Baker, and Atchison over in a hurry to make the play unassisted. That didn't take long. 3 up, 3 down. Go the Cubs in the bottom of the 8th. Brisk business in Wrigleyville, but the Cubs are trailing.
Ladies, you dropping you guys off somewhere?
No, we're coming with.
I'm right behind you guys. It's really beautiful out here, huh? All right. So we want to take a picture of me?
Matt, do you want some help?
I'm good. Night, Matt.
Good night.
Night, guys.
It was a shocking twist.
What is he doing here? The Big Show was fired by Mr. Laurinaitis.
That stunned the WWE Universe.
Oh, no! Big Show just knocked out Cena.
Now, after joining forces with WWE executive John Laurinaitis, the Big Show collides with John Cena inside an unforgiving steel cage. WWE No Way Out, live this Sunday on DirecTV pay-per-view.
Jason Bourne is in Manhattan. That's all I have.
Burn the program to the ground.
You think Jason Bourne was the whole story? There's a lot more going on here.
Who the hell is he?
It's Aaron Cross.
You trying to put me down?
I thought they were dead.
Yeah, he's supposed to be dead.
We have never seen evaluations like this.
You should have left me alone.
The Bourne Legacy. Rated PG-13. Starts August 3rd.
In transition, look at this. Acres of space. Having a big count. Down it goes. Oh, that's fabulous football. And Wesley Sneijder doubles the Dutch delight.
Going to the top of the 9th here at Wrigley, the Red Sox trying to make it 2 out of 3 over the Cubs. They've got a 7-3 lead. Coming up next here on ESPN, stay tuned for SportsCenter. Some of the big stories they'll be covering. Webb Simpson, his first career major as he wins the U.S. Open. The Yankees win again. They sweep Washington. They've won 9 in a row. And the Miami Heat take Game 3 in the NBA Finals. 91-85 over OKC. They lead the series 2-1. Staying in the game at first base for the Cubs is Steve Clevenger after pinch hitting for Jeff Baker. Boy, with all the hand-wringing and the turmoil and the questions, the Miami Heat are up 2-1 in the finals right now.
Yeah, LeBron James had another good night.
He better, because he gets dissected more than anybody I've ever seen for a guy that good.
29 points, and wow, what a great passer too.
And a strike at the knees on Nick Punto, getting his first at bat of the night. The count is 1-2.
There's a pretty big story in sports that Bo Hostler, the 17-year-old of the U.S. Open, shot 9 over. He's only 8 shots off the lead. It's pretty good for a kid.
You imagine playing with guys like, you know, Tiger Woods, and I mean,
how about what you
guys
said?
at senior in high school. He was excited because they gave him a car he could drive.
And mom let him.
Yeah, I mean, come on. What poise that kid had.
Still in braces. He's going to go back for his senior year. Just finished his junior year.
I think his prom date just got better.
Those girls that don't date guys with braces, they might have an exception.
He's still a manager. He's thinking 3 steps ahead.
Oh, yeah. And he's a 4-point student. He's just a brilliant kid.
Full count on Punto.
I saw him do the interview in the post round yesterday with Bob Costas, and he was very articulate and very poised.
7-3 lead for the Red Sox over the Cubs. The Braves and Yankees tomorrow night on Monday Night Baseball. The Cardinals and Tigers on Wednesday Night Baseball. And we will have the Yankees and the Mets 1 week from tonight on Sunday Night Baseball. There's a base hit up the middle for Punto. And he's thinking about to. Made a big turn before he puts the brakes on.
Who's our pitchers tomorrow night, Dan? Yankees, Braves.
Tomorrow night? Get back to that in 1 second. Let's update the AL-NL showdown presented by State Farm. And how about the Boston Red Sox? You were their manager for most of this. A Major League best 99-56 in interleague play since 2004. Yet you told us that in National League parks, you know, you'd have a guy like David Ortiz. You're having to lose one of your better hitters or play guys out of position more than most other teams did.
But we feasted at home. We kept our head above water on the road. And when teams would come into Fenway, we would really have our way.
Strike taken by Nava. Tomorrow night, Sabathia is scheduled to start for the Yankees on Monday Night Baseball. And for Atlanta, Mike Minor. And if all goes according to plan, which it rarely does in baseball, we'll get Sabathia and R.A. Dickey.
That might be.
How about that? I got a chance to be fun.
Come on, Weather.
And I'm going to miss that one. Doggone it.
Yeah, you'll be at the College World Series. Yep. We'll have Mr. Kruk with us at Citi Field next week.
We'll keep your seat warm.
Okay. I'm getting a little nervous. Krukster's good people. You'll have fun.
Looks like Adrian Gonzalez might get an at bat off the bench.
How's that play when you promise a guy a day off, but then you might use him?
You know what, though?
Some guys like it.
Yeah, and if he's in an RBI situation, it's a lot better.
It's a lot better.
Pitcher spot 2 spots away. He's the last remaining bench player. Base hit into right field. First and second.
It's getting better for Adrian right now, huh?
Yeah, Bobby, I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm feeling loose now, Skip.
Pedroia the batter, Gonzalez out into the on-deck circle. You know, guys, with all that has happened to the Red Sox, the injuries and the struggles, a little turmoil here and there, if they win tonight, they're at 500 and 4 out of a wild card spot.
You know what, and you're right, it can change in a hurry. It's just, there's nothing little in Boston. There's no little story.
And they're about to get real talented without having to make a trade, just by getting healthy. Cody Ross, Carl Crawford.
And getting Ellsbury back.
Ellsbury will be huge.
Ellsbury arguably maybe the best player in baseball last year.
He was the best position player in baseball. You know, Justin Verlander wins the MVP, but in the American League for sure, he was the second best player.
0-2 on Pedroia.
Adrian Gonzalez, who's in the on-deck circle, really has not produced to his level. Strikeouts and walks are about the same as last year, but the home runs and RBIs are way down, so he could catch fire. get back to the numbers on the back of his baseball card.
And you make a good point, because he's got too good a swing not to.
So that's almost a guy like, you know, he's been here but really hasn't had healthy numbers. Another way to get better. The real key for them is going to be their starting pitching. Can they stay consistent enough? Because he's probably going to score enough runs.
And I may be in the minority here. I still think, and I said this earlier, their best reliever is in AAA right now. That's Daniel Bard. I mean, he's a game changer in the 7th and 8th innings.
Bobby V, when we talked to him before the game, said his status, the next step for him is still to be determined. How long will he be down in the minors? Will he continue to pitch in relief as he has been in the minors? Pedroia with a fly ball to left field. In comes Soriano for out number 1.
Terry, I got a question for you. How does 3 left-handed starters play for the Red Sox if Dubront, Lester, and say Morales is groomed as a starter, and you want to leave Bard in the bullpen when he comes back, and maybe Beckett comes back healthy and Dice K is the odd man out?
I think it's great. I think the more left-handers you have, the better. I always wonder why they want to split up the lefties. You hear managers say, I want to split up my lefties. I would love to have a back-to-back-to-back, because you force the opposing manager to make decisions and play guys you don't necessarily want to, because you don't want to sit guys for 2 or 3 days in a row.
How's that playing a home series with the left field wall being so close and all the right-handed hitters?
They better learn to change up and cut that ball in.
Pretty good against the Yankees in Yankee Stadium, though.
And you know what, Oral? The ballparks now, I mean, Fenway is a pretty fair ballpark. A lot of these new ballparks, man, they play so small. There's no foul territory. You know, the fans are right on top of the field. Fenway's a lot more fair than a lot of these new ballparks.
Easy to say, tougher to convince a pitcher standing out on the mound, though, looking at that 37-foot monster.
I will admit there's a lot of days where it looks short.
Yeah, and the numbers back up what you're saying. I mean, people talk about all the high fly balls that, well, the screen's gone, but land in the seats above Fenway. But there are some rockets hit off the wall that are home runs in other parks that are singles at Fenway.
Exactly, you're right. It's actually a fair place to pitch. It gives you a big place out in right center and in the alley. And if you make a mistake, you pay for it.
But it sure seems like there are a lot of games there that, it's 11-9 in the 5th inning.
There's some young visiting pitchers that come through there and don't leave with a good taste in their mouth.
Yeah. You don't often see visiting teams cutting down their, sending a reliever down, bringing up a bench player before a series at Fenway. This is a big key, obviously. Adrian Gonzalez, some incredible numbers in San Diego, and wound up with great numbers last year. Tailed off a little bit at times at the end, if memory serves, but still at well over 300, drove in 117 runs, and just has not put up the same kind of numbers this year. Did he go? He did not. And people wondering, is it the shoulder? Is it a mechanical issue?
He plays every day. And he's like, we talked about, he's played 17 games in the outfield. I'm sure that's been hard on his legs because he's just not used to it. And he's a very good first baseman, but he's got too good a swing to stay where he is all year.
In his last 62 games at Fenway, his average is down 140 some points from where it was when he first became a Red Sox.
Full count.
He's probably, he's a good hitter anywhere. I mean, he was a good hitter in Petco, which is the biggest ballpark in baseball. But his swing is tailored for Fenway.
If you were going to create a fantasy situation to move a hitter to a certain park, he might have been the #1 hitter to move to Fenway, just from the spray charts and everything and the way he approaches the game.
Runners are going. Swing and a miss, and no throw. So a double steal for the Red Sox on the second out of the inning.
And that may allow them to walk Ortiz right now.
MLB.TV, baseball everywhere. Watch almost 100 live out-of-market games each week on your favorite devices. Visit MLB.TV for details. And as Terry predicted, As a dad and his son here on Father's Day, talk a little baseball strategy maybe. They will put Ortiz on. Red Sox fans booing. Dale Swain, they'll obviously play in the percentages, and they'll have a go at Aviles, the on deck hitter.
This was the one thing when we had Manny Ramirez and David Ortiz back-to-back really going good early on in 04 and 05. The one thing we tried to manage was to make sure both of them got a chance to hit. You know, even sometimes really taking away some of the aggressiveness on the bases just so they'd have a chance to not lose their at-bat.
How did you decide? And I think most of the time Ortiz hit ahead of Ramirez, I believe. And how did you decide who to hit ahead of who?
They both wanted to hit third.
Of course they did.
And I called them in together. And I explained to them, I said, guys, both of you can't hit third. And David said, yeah, and Manny kind of looked at me. And I said, you guys tell me, and I'll put you wherever, but both of you can't hit third. And we worked it out.
Coin flip.
Oh, yeah, I got it. There's more
rock,
to that
paper,
story.
scissors.
Here,
Manny said, I'll hit fourth. I said, okay. Before he gets to change his mind, I said, thanks for the meeting.
Strike taken by Aviles. 7-3 Boston, top of the ninth, bases loaded, 2 outs. Aviles 0 for 3 with a walk tonight. Reaches for it, and it's ground ball to short. Inning over. Going to the bottom of the ninth at Wrigley. And it'll be a Sevis coming on for the Red Sox, trying to protect a 4-run lead.
PCS arm switches on.
The crossover, a rolling embodiment of compromise. We can save it. We have the technology. Capable of building a crossover worth driving with breakthrough fuel efficiency. The all-new Mazda CX-5 will be that crossover. Better, stronger, smarter. We build Mazdas. What do you drive?
Every day, millions of people choose to do the right thing. There's an insurance company that does that too. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Responsibility. What's your policy?
At a dry cleaner, we replaced people with a machine. Customers didn't like it. So why do banks do it?
Hello?
Hello? If your bank doesn't let you talk to a real person 24/7, you need an ally.
Hello?
Ally Bank. No nonsense, just people sense.
Here it is, a groove slightly transformed. Just a bit of a break from the norm.
Welcome to summer with Bud Light Lime. It's everything you love about Bud Light, with a twist of 100% natural lime flavor for ultimate refreshment. Bud Light Lime. Summer is calling.
Move pursues and move romance. To hit you wet and get you quick for the summertime.
Red Hot La Roja. Super Mario lurks, a stylish Azuri, and the spoilers have nothing to lose. Group C Elimination Day tomorrow.
Euro 2012 continues tomorrow on ESPN and ESPN2. A big day for Croatia, Spain, and Italy, with so much on the line for those three countries. You go to the bottom of the ninth in Chicago. The Red Sox lead the Cubs 7-3. Alfredo Aceves is on for Boston. Tony Campana, the batter for the Cubs, pinch hitting in the pitcher spot. Adrian Gonzalez stays in the game at first base for the Red Sox in place of David Ortiz. Bobby Valentine has used all 5 bench players and 5 of his 7 relievers in this game, including Aceves, his closer, on in a non-save situation here with a 4-run lead. And a little looper, that's That's a kind of a prototypical Tony Campana hit. One of the fastest guys in the majors. Just about 5'8", 160. He's got 23 stolen bases despite spending the first couple of weeks in the minors this year. Tonight's aerial coverage is brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. So the leadoff man is aboard for the Cubs here in the bottom of the ninth. And here's Wellington Castillo to face Alfredo Aceves. And he lines a base hit into left field. 2 on with nobody out. Down near the bottom of the Cub lineup right now. This is the number 8 hitter, Luis Valbuena, coming up against Aceves. David DeJesus, though, is batting in the 9 spot. And the Cubs with something brewing here in the bottom of the 9th.
How big was that last tack-on run?
Valbuena hit a 3-run homer yesterday. As a concerned Bobby Valentine looks on for the Red Sox first base dugout. Up and away, ball 1. Aceves was supposed to be a starter. All kinds of things went wrong for the Red Sox in the spring, and eventually he became the closer. He can pitch in virtually any role and has in the majors. There's a liner into right center. That is a base hit. And just like that, the Cubs have loaded the bases with nobody out.
I was kind of laughing. We were talking to Bobby before the game, and he was talking about when they put Aceves back in the bullpen, they wanted to make sure he could pitch back-to-back days. I wanted to tell him, did you not see September? The kid pitched every day.
Well, his first outing of the year was a blue pit, a single, and a 3-run homer, and that started the Boston bullpen on their slide for about 14 games where their ERA was about 8.5. But the last 54 games, this Boston bullpen has been lights out. Their ERA is around 2 flat.
You don't often see the manager go out just for a message, and whatever it was quick. Vicente Padilla just getting up and going through a warm-up routine that a lot of pitchers use, throwing a towel or extending their arm while holding a towel. And now Padilla is going to get busy in a hurry. From above, they are loaded with nobody out. The tying run is at the plate. And a swing and a miss by DeJesus.
I think the message was, okay, big boy, save situation now. Save yourself and us.
Just want to get it out. Take a little steam out of the inning for the Cubs.
Peter Pasquarelli reminding us that Bob McClure, the pitching coach for the Red Sox, is not with the team due to personal reasons. So Bobby V's got to go out and do all the talking to the pitchers. But he didn't hang around very long. Whatever the message was for Aceves, it was delivered succinctly. And Padilla continues to throw in the Red Sox pen.
And he's got Randy Neiman in there. As they have an assistant pitching coach, and Randy's taken over. So it kind of eases the burden of not having Bob McClure around.
0-2. Out of play. The Red Sox with an off day tomorrow. And then they will head home for a 9-game homestand. 3 against the Marlins, 3 against the Braves, 3 against the Blue Jays. The Cubs will head south in a sense. Just to the south side of Chicago. They'll have a series with the White Sox. Bases loaded, nobody out. Energy back in the ballpark. High drive center field to the warning track where Kalish will make the catch. Campana will tag and score. Castillo will come to third, 7-4. If that ball's hit a couple of hours ago, it's probably out. The wind has died down to a certain extent.
And as far as that went, and as much of a scare as it was to the Red Sox, they needed that out. That run doesn't mean anything
First and third, one out. The potential tying run at the plate again. This time it's Reed Johnson. And a strike.
This is where the Cubs roster is a little short. You know, Reed Johnson's playing right field. Normally maybe a right fielder, you get some big RBIs out of him. He'd be down in the order in the 4th or 5th hole. Starlin Castro would be leading off. Darwin Barney be hitting second. A little short as far as the big pop to get back in this.
Back out of play, 0-2. Darwin Barney on deck. Starlin and Castro behind him should it get that far.
And this is a situation where LaHair's sitting over there. Again, maybe they can't, you know, work. I mean, I don't know. It'd be nice to give him that bat.
Left-handed hitter with some pop.
Got 12 home runs versus right-handed pitching.
The 0-2. And Johnson fights it off.
As Dale Swain was commenting before the game, the National League was saying how much he enjoyed it because after the 5th, 6th inning, there's a lot of moving parts. And we've certainly seen them tonight.
A run in. 2 men on, 1 out. The tying run at the plate here in the bottom of the 9th inning. And a breaking ball freezes up for strike 3 call.
And he knew it.
A lot of fastball. The 13 pitches thrown this inning by Aceves, but right here he throws a little breaking ball. Just catches the top of the strike zone. He'd wish he'd have that back if it got hit. If it gets called for a strike, you go, whoa, good pitch. Got away with it probably because he showed so many fastballs.
Now Barney. And a breaking ball buckles him for strike 1.
I would imagine we'll see the runner at first base take off and take the force out of the play.
Gonzalez playing behind Valbuena, trying to keep him close. Now backing up. And a swing and a ball popped up on the infield. This should do it. The Red Sox take 2 out of 3 from the Cubs, and they're back at the 500 mark after the win tonight at 33 and 33. The Cubs drop to 22 and 44 on the season. That is the worst mark in Major League Baseball. Tonight, Chevrolet player of the game, Franklin Morales. Spot start, 5 innings, 9 strikeouts for the left-hander. Outstanding job. The Red Sox go on to win by a score of 7-4 here at Wrigley Field tonight. Coming up next on ESPN, stay tuned for SportsCenter. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Oral Hershiser, Terry Francona, and a Buster Olney, I'm Dan Schulman saying Happy Father's Day. Thanks for watching, and so long from Chicago.
We're back on the Winter Circle program that pays out extra money for the purse. I've been missing out on that for 3 or 4 years.
This is SportsCenter.
A special Father's Day for Dale Jr., who puts his drought in the rear view by finding victory lane for the first time in 4 years. No Sunday charge for Tiger. Instead, it's Webb Simpson who survives the Olympic club to claim his first major championship. LeBron leads the way as Miami take control of the NBA Finals. Magic Johnson, Stephen A. Smith break down Game 3. And Donnie Baseball tossed before his team walks off in extras. Plus, we had not one, but two 15-inning matinee marathons, all on SportsCenter right about now.
Number 100 as a member of the Phillies for Jim Thome.
Happy Father's Day, Dad.
How kind of Webb Simpson to wrap up the U.S. Open with some 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter of the Thunder Heat game. Held off Graham McDowell and Michael Thompson. That was McDowell missing a putt on 18. What a force to play off tomorrow. Not to be. Webb Simpson scores his first major. Meanwhile, Dale Earnhardt Jr. wins the Sprint Cup race at Michigan. Jr. finding his way to victory lane once again on Father's Day. His last race win, Father's Day, back in 2008. Dale Jr. will be the subject of our Sunday conversation. Hi, everybody. Steve Levy with Linda Cohn. Welcome to SportsCenter. All you dads out there, hope you had a tremendous Father's Day. Mine was pretty much up in the air. We'll get into some personal anecdotes in a little bit and much more coming up from both Michigan and San Francisco.
Looking forward to that. But first, we begin in Miami, where the Heat beat the Thunder by 6. LeBron James leading the way with 29 points, and leading our coverage is our NBA Countdown crew from Miami.
Thank you very much, and welcome to Miami and our continuing coverage of the NBA Finals. Game 3 in the books now. Miami, a 91-85 winner. Oklahoma City will go away from this game feeling it had tons of chances to win, but Miami, with LeBron James and Dwayne Wade leading the way again, as they so often have in these playoffs, put Oklahoma City away and now have a 2-1 lead. JB, I believe we have some highlights.
I believe we had one LeBron James talking to his teammates prior to this after the shadow boxing. Here's what LeBron had to say.
Do not disappoint our home fans, man. Do not disappoint yourself and do not disappoint your teammates. Go out there for 48 minutes plus. Yes, sir. Heaters on 3. 1, 2, 3. Heaters.
Well, Dwayne Wade certainly heard LeBron James in that huddle. He came out early as a distributor. Pick and roll here. Finds Chris Bosh down the lane for the easy flush.
That would be a recurring theme throughout the night, JB. He really exploited them inside.
You already see the highlight? Because look, there it is again. Next time down, pick and roll. Bosh with the easy dunk again. Later, it's Kevin Durant. LeBron James guarding. Can't get into his face and do anything. He can get that ball and shoot it anywhere he wants.
And he really took over in that first quarter. Just set the tone for the Thunder.
Game tied at 12 there. No bad start tonight. As we see Dwayne Wade here finding Chris Bosh again. What a great hookup.
Yeah, outstanding pass. And they were looking for Bosh early, especially in the first quarter.
Later, LeBron James with the finish. Dwayne Wade, 4 fourth-quarter assists. The Thunder, just 2 as a team. Here's James Harden. He's going to find Durant. He goes in for the easy flush. Game, 2-point game, Miami up 2. Here's LeBron James. Is this hop step legal?
Yes, that's legal. You came to a complete stop and laid it in, JB.
Second quarter, it's Kevin Durant again. All the shots, but this time Mike Miller comes over for the block. Here goes LeBron on the break. Can't stop this locomotive. He finishes. Heat go up 6.
It was all points in the paint for the Heat early, 20 in the first quarter.
Now Durant, spin move over Dwayne Wade. What a shot. OKC tied at 31 as Kevin Durant smiles at Dwayne Wade. You can't stop me, young man. And here's Durant with a bad turnover, stolen by Chalmers. Up to Dwayne Wade for the easy flush. Miami by 2 midway through the second quarter. Later, LeBron James on the break. Finds Dwayne Wade for the reverse layup and the foul on James Harden. Check it out again. Beautiful handoff. Wade with the finish.
25, 7, and 7 for Dwayne Wade. I'd say his most complete game, perhaps, of the playoffs.
Yes.
How about this? Kevin Durant right in the face of James. Face-up three-point shot. This guy is absolutely incredible. Game tied here at 41. LeBron on the break. Durant with the foul. Finish. Can't stop this guy on the break.
No, JB. You know, he has so many different moves, and he can go left or right.
Third quarter. Thabo Sefolosha playing great defense on James. He forces the tough shot. Westbrook goes the other way. finds Cephalosha with the lob and beautiful finish. OKC started to take control here early in the third. This time, a little Rajon Rondo.
That was, I know, like it. Got a Rondo move now.
Westbrook. I don't think it worked all that well. Bosh stayed with him, but nonetheless, Westbrook lays it in. Then the Thunder up 7. Durant working on James. Sinks the floater off the glass. All the shots. Thunder up 9, and it was danger time here in Miami. But then Wade, he goes baseline. He gets the foul on Durant. If you thought it was a foul, Kevin Durant saddled with his 4th foul. He's going to have to go to the bench, guys.
Not so sure about that one, JB.
Yeah, and also, too, Kevin's got to be a little smarter because the Heat, the Thunder were rolling, so you got to stay out on the court.
Later, OKC up 6. Fisher hits the 3, foul by Chalmers. He gets the 4-point play. Thunder up 10, but Heat would rally. Wade sinks the floater inside. He cut it to 3. Durant forced to sit and watch from the bench. Later, Heat down 1. It's James. Cephalosha leaves. He knocks it down. 4th quarter with Durant back in the game.
We have to continue to be aggressive. Even that attack right there, we didn't get it to go down, but that's the style we want to play. It would help if we got some stops and some easy ones.
Coach Eric Spoelstra there, 4th quarter with Durant back in the game. It's Wade. He's going to turn it over. Fisher takes it the other way. And he'll sink the floater. Some good moments for Derek Fisher, the grizzled vet.
He is grizzled, and he is a vet, and they need more of that kind of play. If they had it in the 4th quarter, or like they had in the 3rd, result might have been different.
Later, it's Mike Wilbon's guy, James Jones. He knocks down the open 3.
Put me in, Coach.
Heat up 5.
Fan.
Moments later, Westbrook hits the pull-up jumper, cuts the game to 3.
Well, JB, I told you he played a smart game. Russell controlled the ball and took good shots.
Thunder come back. James Harden with one of his 2 field goals on the evening. They take a 1-point lead. Next Thunder possession, it's Durant drives by James, but there's Chris Bosh for the block. 24-second violation. Take another look. Chris Bosh was big.
Bosh only 10 points, 11 rebounds, but he was huge defensively late in the game.
Under 5 to play. Heat up 1. Wade drives. He sinks the runner plus the foul. Heat up 4 after the free throw. Under 4 minutes, same score. Harden, he turns it over. The Heat go the other way. James lays it in. Foul on Durant. 3-point play. Durant's 5th foul. Heat up 7 after the free throw. I like the call.
Yeah, I like the call, but in that 4th quarter, the Thunder, JB, had 9 turnovers.
But Durant right back, hits the jump shot. Thunder just down 5. Plenty of time to go. Under 3 here. Same score. James drives. Lays it up over Kendrick Perkins. Heat go back up 7. Thunder don't quit. How about this? Cephalosha with the steal on Wade.
Dwayne Wade, a similar turnover in game 2 that almost cost the Heat the game. He fortunately got away with it here, but they've got to do something about that, JB, going forward.
Big time finish, Cephalosha. Thunder within 3. Next Thunder possession, Westbrook pulls up. He hits the jumper. We have ourselves a 1-point game with 1.5 minutes left.
This series has been getting better and better. Every game seems to bring you new and late drama.
After Bosh hits 2 free throws, LeBron James, great defense on Durant, causes a tough shot there. Russell Westbrook, he's going to try another 3. He doesn't get it. Gets a second chance. Wide open for the tie. No. Battier rebounds, and the Heat go the other way. LeBron James gets fouled, misses the 1st free throw, knocks down the 2nd to give them a 4-point lead.
We know they've had their struggles at the free throw line, but not in game 3.
Thunder inbound here. Miscommunication between Cephalosha and Westbrook, and that'll do it. Wade, 2 free throws to make it a 91-85 final. OKC in control midway through the 3rd. Let this one slip away. Again, LeBron James dominant, 29 points, 14 boards. Wade, 25, 7, and 7. Durant with 25, Westbrook 19, and James Harden, 9 points on 2 of 10 shooting. Let's go down to Stuart Scott, who's standing by with Chris Bosh moments ago.
The Miami Heat hand OKC its 2nd losing streak of the postseason. Chris Bosh hanging out with us after a 2nd straight double-double. Chris, biggest reason you guys were able to come back after being down in the 3rd quarter?
Well, I mean, we kept our composure and we kept things together. And, you know, we've been in those situations before, and we know that they're a great team over there, and they're going to go on some runs sometimes, but it's not about what happens, it's how you regroup. And we did a good job of that. We started getting stops and forcing turnovers, started making shots, and we were able to take the lead into the third quarter. We know when we play good third quarters, we're tough to beat.
Fourth quarter, you guys had 9 turnovers. Like in the fourth quarter, like the last quarter, like the money quarter.
I know.
When you're supposed to be protecting the rock.
Exactly.
Dude, what's up with that? What's up with 9 turnovers?
I'll tell you one thing, man. We're lucky today to get out of here with 1, but we have to play that complete game that we're still searching for, and to know that we can get a lot better. It's very encouraging for us, but you know, there's no excuses for that. We know that, and we're going to turn that around.
Spoelstra going to say something to you, won't he?
Oh yeah, absolutely. He likes watching a lot of film, so you know, it'll be a little bit of a scary movie tomorrow. So we can take it. We're men.
Kevin Durant had 25 points. Russell Westbrook had 19, but combined, their 2 best players only had 8 points in the fourth quarter. What'd you all do? How'd you clamp them down in the fourth?
We're just trying our best to keep them in front of us and show them bodies. They're too talented of guys to just go straight up one-on-one and not get any help. So we want to give our guys some help, give them a lot of defense on the backside, and just clog that paint up. And, you know, if they make contested jumpers, we tip our hats to them. But for the most part, we want to keep them out that lane and off the free throw line.
Your second straight game in the starter role after your injury in the Pacers series. Don't give me that stuff about, hey, it doesn't matter if I start or come off the bench. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Everybody wants to start. Right. Why are you a more effective player as a starter?
Well, I get to really be effective right off the bat. And, you know, that's what I'm used to. I've been in the league, I'm starting to lose count like 9 years or something like that, and I've been starting for 9 years. So I'm a little bit more comfortable starting games, and, you know, I'm able to really just put my imprint on the game early and, you know, build some momentum for myself and just really ride that wave for the rest of the game.
Last 2 games, 26 points, 26 rebounds. What are you doing differently than you were when you first came back from your injury?
I'm able, I knew that I was going to get healthier as the time went on. So I'm able just to be more athletic. And after game 1, I really saw where I could be effective. I knew that I was going to have to really unleash that athleticism and really do a better job of that. And you know, just try to get us second chance points and try my best to give ourselves a good great rebounding opportunities, because we all know, you know, you give this team second chances, that's something you don't want to do. So, you know, as long as we board, as long as I board, I'm happy.
Happy Father's Day, brother.
Appreciate it. Happy Father's Day to you too, bro.
Miami Heat win game 3. In fact, every time the Miami Heat play in the NBA Finals, they win game 3.
Thank you, Stuart. Thank you, Chris. Chris, of course, a member of Miami's Big Three. Let's take a look at the Big Three comparison. The Heat's Big Three scoring 64. The Thunder's Big Three in Game 3 had only 53 points. The big difference came at the foul line, where Miami's Big Three camped out all evening. Also cleaned up on the glass, double-digit rebounds for both Bosh and LeBron. But it's sort of unfair because the Thunder only had a big 2, right? Thunder had 2 players playing. That's it in Game 3. They have got to get, at minimum, all 3 players involved. They did not do that. Irvin, what do you think's going on with Oklahoma City, even though they played well enough in stretches to win?
Yeah, you know, they played great. To me, they played great for 3 quarters, 2.5, up until Kevin Durant got his 4th foul, had to go to the bench. And Westbrook also went to the bench as well.
You needed Harden then, didn't you?
James Harden didn't step up. And then JB and I were screaming watching the game because they made 2 critical mistakes on 3-point shooters for Miami and fouled them and sent them to the line for 3 free throws. That really hurt the momentum that they had built up. And so you just can't have that happen. There, Ibaka's trying to block Battier, and here's James Jones. And Derek Fisher is a veteran, a 5-time NBA champion. He knows better than that. And so that really hurt them. And then JB, the man that was supposed to come in and dominate when those 2 went to the bench, James Harden, he ends up with 9 points. Kendrick Perkins scores more. He finished with 10 than James Harden scored.
Harden's second bad offensive game of the series.
Well,
game 1, 5 points. Game 3, 2 for 11. 2 for 10 shooting no huge contributions anywhere. What is that? What's up, JB?
They were able to get by in game 1 because Durant went nuts for 36, but Durant just had 25 in this game. But you couple this with poor free throw shooting, 62%. He missed 9 free throws out of 24. Your Oklahoma City. This is the best free throw shooting team that's in the NBA. They really, and they've struggled all finals long, not shot the ball well there. I don't know if I'm Oklahoma City if I feel good about the fact that I held to Miami to 38% shooting. I'll take the big 3 getting 64 for Miami. 64 for those 3 guys?
3 of them.
You got to think, all 3 of those guys, you got to think you're doing pretty well because they did do a good job on the rest of the Miami Heat. Too many turnovers, 14. And the fourth quarter was just crucial.
Yeah.
What do we say, 7 turnovers? 9 turnovers in the fourth quarter. That just can't happen. You have to get a field goal attempt at least in every single possession, particularly when you're in a tight game. They did do a good job. They forced some Miami turnovers, but 31 out of 35 from the line. Credit Miami. This is not a great free throw shooting team, not one of the poorer ones, but 31 out of 35 at the line. Credit Miami because Oklahoma City made a heck of a run in that third quarter, and they got themselves right back in it as soon as Durant went to the bench.
Well, the Heat's big 3 was just more aggressive. It's as simple as that. You saw the numbers. They out-rebounded them. Defensively, they were better. Chris Bosh, especially in the fourth quarter. And the foul attempts. The Thunder's big 2, if you want to say that, Durant and Westbrook, only had 6 free throw attempts combined, whereas Wade and LeBron had 19 combined. Not only is that getting to the line, but it got Kevin Durant and others in foul trouble. The Thunder's big 3 are going to have to be more aggressive.
Hold that point just for 1 second. We're going to check in with Kevin Durant talking to the media after the game.
That's coach's call. I had 4 want to say 4 or 5 minutes to go in the third, and we had a nice little rhythm going. I had a nice rhythm going on the offensive end, and for it to just stop like that by me going out the game because of fouls is kind of tough. So,
how frustrating was it watching that run with you and Russ out shortly after that for the rest of the third?
It was frustrating. Of course, we had a good lead, and they came back and made some shots, and we fouled shooters on a 3-point line twice. It was a tough break for us, man. I hate sitting on the bench, especially with fouls. So I just got to do a better job next game of staying out of foul trouble.
So after those huge fourth quarters in game 1 and 2, quiet fourth for Durant in game 3. Just 2 for 6, 4 points in the final quarter. They can't afford to have. We talked for years about LeBron James and what you have to do. Not 3 out of 4 games, every game, particularly late in games. And Durant is now sort of fine. Durant's had great games, yet 2 times out of 3 now, it hasn't been enough. So are we going to expect Durant to do even more? 19 shots. It seems to me Kevin Durant is the one player in the league who could take 30 shots every night and you wouldn't object because he's so efficient. He's shooting, 53, 55%. So do we want others doing more on OKC to try to even this series at 2? Do we want to see more from Durant? How do you play it, Irvin?
Well, you play it, Kevin. You can't get in foul trouble. This is the second game in a row that you had to go to the bench, and it actually hurt your team. So he's going to have to be careful about getting into foul trouble because they need him in the game, especially with Westbrook being inconsistent in this final. So that right there, that foul there, you can't have that happen. You don't grab a man that's 20 feet from the basket. And then here, whether you call that or not.
2 of those fouls are a little shaky.
Yes. Well, you look at who he's guarding. He's guarding LeBron James, and there you saw him on Dwayne Wade, guys that are relentless, especially in this series, in attacking the rim. Do you have to just take him off of those 2 guys a little more?
You could do that if Cephalosha was making some shots, but he's really struggling. Just like what Shane Battier is doing for Miami, he's spread the floor now because they have to respect him. He shot the ball just phenomenally in this series. I think he's 10 or 14 or 11 of 14, 11 of 15 in the series. They need somebody to do that. The 3-point shooting for Oklahoma City has not been there. They were 4 for 18 in this game. If someone could do that, then we could get Durant some shots because it's credit Miami's defense. They're putting up a wall. There's nowhere for Kevin Durant to go. Yes, he's got great ability to get any shot you want. But when you look up and you see Chris Bosh is sitting on the block that you're going to go to, it makes it difficult to score.
And let me tell you what it came down to. In the fourth quarter, OKC jump shots. the Miami Heat going to the basket. Dwayne Wade and LeBron James took turns going to the basket and scoring every single time, or getting to the free throw line. That's the difference in this ball game. The Thunder's going to have to find a way to go to the basket. That's why the fouls were so huge of a difference between the two teams.
All right, for them, let's check in on Eric Spoelstra and what he decided to tell his team, his Miami Heat team, after the game.
Competition at its highest level, and that's what it's all about right now. And we talked about that character, how we've developed it, okay, through fire and metal and a hammer, right? So we're down by 10. We shoot 37% for the game, and you just find a way to win. That's the resourcefulness and the toughness that we've developed now.
That's a different theme for the Miami Heat. That's interesting hearing Eric Spoelstra tell his team that, because it's not a matter of what people thought. They didn't have that, which is why he's telling his team they are different now. He's talking about that in the NBA Finals. The Miami Heat shooting 38%. Not that Oklahoma City lit it up at 43%, but grinding out games and finding ways. It's a heck of a time to hit that, to find that, isn't it, Irvin?
And I'll tell you what, if they walk away with this NBA trophy, they should call the Pacers up and thank them, because the Indiana Pacers woke the Miami Heat up and made them play mentally tougher and physically tougher.
Down 2-1 in
That's right.
I think they can call LeBron James and thank him, too. Because this guy, I think he's set the tone for this team. He's been on the attack. It seems like almost every single Heat player doesn't want to take any jump shots. I see times where they're just throwing it around. These guys are 35 free throw attempts. You got to credit them for playing and being more aggressive than the Oklahoma City Thunder.
All right, we are not finished with our continuing coverage of the NBA Finals from Miami. But for now, there's a lot of other stuff going on in the sports world. We will send it back to Bristol and SportsCenter.
NBA Finals postgame report is brought to you by Warner Brothers Pictures, The Dark Knight Rises. In theaters everywhere, July 20th.
We are by no means done with our Miami coverage of the NBA Finals. You know, that's a 4 a.m. town, Linda.
Yes.
I think the Deuce is open 24 hours. We'll hear from LeBron James just as soon as possible.
A lot of big stories on this Father's Day. You know, back on Father's Day 2008, that was the last time Dale Earnhardt Jr. won a Sprint Cup race. Well, this Father's Day, guess what? He comes in hot, second in the points standings. Dale Jr. on a 143-race winless streak going into Michigan. And here he is passing the leader and pole winner Marcus Ambrose down the back stretch as Dale Jr. grabbed the lead. Lap 86 under caution, Kyle Busch. Engine issues for a third straight week. He goes to the garage, and he would finish 32nd. On the restart, Tony Stewart just blows by Dale Earnhardt Jr. on the inside, and Tony Stewart would lead. Lap 106, a battle for the lead. Stewart backing off, giving up the lead to Dale Earnhardt Jr., so he was back in the lead once again. We move to lap 126. Joey Logano gets loose, turns into the wall. Casey King gets collected as well. Last week's winner, Logano, finished 35th. Kane finished 33rd. Yikes. Lap 133, tight racing. Ryan Newman tapping Denny Hamlin, going 4 wide, and there goes Hamlin spinning. His car shredding as it hits the infield glass, now in flames. Rolling down pit road on fire. Last year's winner, OK, finished 34th. All three Joe Gibbs racing cars with issues. 13 laps to go. Dale Jr. still out front. A big lead now over second place, Tony Stewart. Earnhardt led 95 of the 200 laps in this race. 2 laps to go. Dale Jr. coming to the white flag.
There you go, buddy, white flag.
1 lap to go for Dale Jr. Last lap. And what do you know? He snaps his winless streak, and he wins finally at Michigan. His first win since 2008.
Yeah, I double-checked it. Wasn't the 500. We really won it. All right. Hey, good job, man. I know you guys have been waiting on that one. I know I have.
Yeah, Dale Jr. had to ask his crew chief, did we really win it? Yes. Yes, you did, Dale Jr. You are in victory lane. He led the last 30 laps. So Earnhardt's 143 races between Sprint Cup wins, the 6th most in series history. Before Sunday, the last driver to snap a Sprint Cup winless streak, at least that long, Jamie McMurray. whose win at Daytona in the summer of 2007 was his first in his last 166 Cup Series races. Now, despite leading for the last 30 laps of Sunday's race, Dale Jr. says that was the toughest part of this race.
That was the worst feeling, riding around there with 15 laps to go, wondering what was going to happen or how you were going to lose. So I was just thinking, man, those laps couldn't go by fast enough. I was like, I got a big lead. I'm going to take it easy. No, I'm going to run hard, get it over with. So I was in there just going crazy. We're looking forward to the rest of the year. We feel pretty strong about our chances of winning some more races. And now that we've got the first one out of the way, our psyche and our confidence is really up there. So we feel like we can carry this on through the rest of the year and get some more wins and maybe just battle for that championship. So we're working hard. That's the goals. And, hopefully we don't have another dry spell like that. I'm in the right equipment to keep winning some races, and hopefully we can use it right.
It was a huge weekend back on Father's Day 2008 as well. Yes, worth repeating. The last time we saw Dale Earnhardt Jr. in victory lane before Sunday, Earnhardt led 14 laps at Michigan, held off Casey Kane to snap what was then the longest winless streak of his career. Also then, Tiger Woods, also in the news, forcing a Monday playoff at the U.S. Open after he birdied the 72nd hole at Torrey Pines. Woods beat Rocco Mediate in the playoff for his 14th major title, the last time Tiger has won a major. And the Lakers stayed alive in the NBA Finals, knocking off the Celtics at the Staples Center. Boston captured the title 2 nights later with a Game 6 blowout at the Garden.
Hey, still to come on SportsCenter. The U.S. Open produces a heart-pounding finish and a previously unknown champ. See how Webb Simpson navigated the Olympic club while so many major winners were left cursing the course. Don Mattingly loses his cool in L.A., got ejected before his Dodgers made it a Father's Day to remember for 2 former Major League All-Stars. And LaDainian Tomlinson will officially retire as a Charger on Monday. We'll look back at a career that certainly will score him a bust in Canton. That's all coming up.
Go inside the edge for a look at elite athletes who understand what they put in impacts what they get out.
I absolutely hate losing. And that could be on the tennis court, it could be running, it could be playing a game of cards. I do not like losing.
It all starts out with, I'm a winner. I sleep that, I eat that, I think that, and that's the way you play.
Being here at the Gatorade Sports Science Institute is great because I get to learn that, okay, I need to work on this. So I take the information that I learned and I take it to my trainer and we go over it together and we work on it.
She knows actually what she has to do to be on top of her game. She knows how hard she has to practice, what kind of nutrition she has to feed to herself to keep that power, to keep that strength.
Tennis, it's all about reflexes. Those tests are really important because it's like, okay, I'm reacting really fast to the left, so maybe I need to work on reacting to the right. Having that information is priceless. You can learn so much about your body and you can be able to advance your career and have a better career. I'm able to continue to play at a high level because of being able to evolve.
Throwing the football is definitely a fun part of the practice. You simulate the service motion. I have never seen, until recently, actually players doing it. Serena is definitely the first of it. Whenever she throws the football, she's feeling like she's serving great.
It's important to not be stuck in one place. What if I try this? And what if I try that? Is it going to help me and not be afraid to make those changes?
London is definitely a highlight, and we are going to be prepared for it. That's a title she hasn't won yet, and our goal is not to go out with anything less than gold.
To win a gold medal would just be amazing and breathtaking. The fact that I have a chance to win a gold medal and be considered with these all-time great athletes is pretty much unheard of, and it's so cool.
Spooky scene here in San Francisco at the Olympic Club. Sunday, United States Open Championship, and there are a number of men who will forever be haunted by what they let slip away here in the 112th playing of this grueling and taxing championship. The man who won it twice is Andy North. I'm Scott Van Pelt. Let's show you what went on here Sunday at the Olympic Club. Tiger Woods did not have it going on for the second day in a row. It all went wrong. Andy, what was the story?
Well, after bogeying 1 and 2, horrible lie at the par 3 third, ends up making a double bogey, played the first 6 holes 6 over, his open chances were gone, even though he did play well the rest of the way in 3 under the last 12.
Freewood for Lee Westwood on 5T. Lee Jansen found a tree here in 98, but they found it eventually. Lee Westwood not so fortunate.
His ball never came out of the tree. He had to go back and re-tee. Led to a double bogey, and his chances basically were done at that point in time.
Ernie Els begins a charge. He annihilated the par 4 7th this week.
Made 2 eagles and 2 birdies on this short hole. Best of anybody in the field.
Webb Simpson was off to a sluggish start, but you've told me forever, Andy, you can win a major with a great 3-hole stretch.
Yeah, he was struggled the first 5, but felt like he was okay. Birdied 6, and here a nice little pitch up next to the hole for an easy birdie at 7.
Jim Furyk grinding it out U.S. Open style early.
He is so solid. He figures out a way to make pars, and that's what you have to do in a U.S. Open.
He stays 1 under. Back to Simpson, who is charging for 3 in a row to get to 2 over.
All of a sudden, he's got to be thinking, I've got a chance.
That's the 14th ranked player in the world, keep in mind, when the week started. Here's Michael Thompson, who opened in 66. A real classy play here on the par 5 16.
And at this point in time, he knocks that one to go 2 over. He's thinking, I make 2 more birdies and get it even. I can win the Open.
He almost made one on 17. He sat in with his feet up 2 over par. What happened here on 10 when Simpson shot?
Well, actually, it was very simple. He was aiming 15 feet to the left of the hole and pushed it stiff for his 4th birdie in 5 holes.
Moves to 1 over, 1 shot back. Jim Furyk in the rough, and it's not so much the swing as that. What does it tell you,
It's
Andy?
the reaction. You never see that out of Jim Furyk. You know he's a great competitor, but that's the kind of thing that all of a sudden that even keel that he works on went away. And from that point on, he wasn't quite the same player.
He probably thought he was about to make bogey because that's all he could do from the bunker to here. But in the U.S. Open, if you want to win, you got to figure out a way to make par.
And boy, when that went in, he's thinking, I got away with murder on this hole.
He's still even par, still out in front. Graham McDowell playing alongside. Nothing going until this.
Same line, knows what he needs to do. Barely gets there, goes in. And it's a 2-man race at this point in time.
Back to 1 behind. Jim Furyk here on 13.
Approach shot came up about 3 or 4 yards short of where he needed to land it. That sets up a really tough pitch, leads to a bogey at 13.
And now he's dropping into a tie with Webb Simpson. Ernie Els on 16. What went wrong here?
Well, obviously he didn't get up in the green, but it was the 3rd shot that put him in that position. He landed it just left of the flagstick. He needed to play out to the right. That little loose shot at 16 cost him.
Jim Furyk afterwards was as irate as he gets about where the tee was here. It was about 100 yards up, and it leads to this.
He moved it way up. That particular swing got short and quick, and when Jim Furyk gets short and quick, the results are not good.
He said you couldn't practice for that tee because it was 100 yards shorter. He ended up making bogey. So now Webb Simpson's got a lead, but he's got an incredibly difficult chip on 18.
Awful wide, just to the right of the green. Chunks it out, judges speed perfectly, and keeps it below the hole, so he's putting up the hill to finish 1 over.
Never had a lead until he was in the clubhouse. He's 1 over par. 1 over, and he's watching as Graham McDowell needs birdie. He's got to think this is great.
And this is after making birdie at 17. I believe he thought that was 6 or 8 feet to the right of the hole instead of 24 feet past, but he still has a chance to win the Open.
Jim Furyk needs birdie.
Pulls it, and anytime you pull a short iron, it's going to go longer, ends up burying the bunker. Absolutely no chance from that point. He knows he's done.
He knows he's done. Webb Simpson's wondering, can it be? Am I about to become a major champion? Furyk needs a miracle. U.S. Opens largely do not provide them. His hopes go to die, bunker to bunker. Meanwhile, McDowell has an opportunity. The same way Payne Stewart had an opportunity back in '98. I make a birdie and I tie him. We'll be back for a Monday playoff.
He thinks it's going right. It actually goes left a little bit. Bad read. The Simpson family are ecstatic.
Webb and his wife Dowd, they're expecting their 2nd child about 2 months from now, but a Father's Day present of a different variety. It's a big silver jug. Honey, can we put this over by the television someplace? How about Webb Simpson, 26 years old, again, start of the week ranked 14th in the world, so this is not a shock, even though it is the 9th straight first-time major championship winner. And while we're at it, let's salute the work of Michael Thompson and John Peterson, whose names are in there with the far more familiar superstars who had magnificent weeks. But the world really changed for Webb Simpson, who's now a major champion.
I never really wrapped my mind around winning. This place is so demanding. And so all I was really concerned about was kind of keeping the ball in front of me and just trying to make pars. And you hear all the guys say it, but it's so true. The course is so hard. You don't know if you're going to make 3 or 4 bogeys in a row. And You know, today I started out, I was 2 over through 5, but I didn't really think anything of it because I knew I had 7 coming up and a few other birdie holes on the back. So, you know, I definitely thought about winning and wanted to win, but I was just trying to keep my mind focused on the hole that I was playing and just try to somehow make pars.
Sometimes ignorance is bliss. This guy, he couldn't have thought that he was going to win this championship, just kept playing his shot. Again, top 15 before this week started. He was second on the money list last year, so this isn't some duck who got lucky, but the trend does continue here that comebacks are part of the storyline, but this is one of the bigger comebacks we've seen to win a major championship. The smile belongs to Webb. There's dejection and only a lot of second thoughts for those who came up runner-up and beyond.
You know, I had my opportunities and my chances, and you know, it was right there. It was on that back 9. It was my tournament to win, and felt like if I went out there and shot even par, 1 under, would have distanced myself from the field, and wasn't able to do so, and played quite well actually until the last 3 holes. So, you know, I really have to look at holes 70 to 72 of what cost me the tournament, and you know, I need to do better those last 3.
There's a mixture of emotions inside me right now. You know, obviously disappointment, deflation. Pride, you know, but mostly just frustration, you know, just because I hit 3 fairways today. It's the U.S. Open. You're not supposed to do that, you know. You're supposed to hit some fairways, and that was the key to today for me, really.
I'm disappointed right now. You know, I felt I had a chance all day. I eagled 7, and you know, we had a mystery on this 8th hole. You know, I came well short.
Jim Furyk didn't make a birdie in his final round, and those bogeys, particularly the bogeys late, and again, Furyk just wasn't at all pleased with where that tee was. The USGA moving it way forward on 16, said you couldn't practice for that, and they never did. Graham McDowell was one of the leaders in fairways heading into the final round. He just couldn't find too many, and Ernie Els made a mess of the par 5 16th this week, including that bogey on Sunday. Webb Simpson afterwards says, I don't know how Tiger Woods has won 14 of these. I couldn't feel my legs on the back 9. He was 136 on the weekend last year at Congressional, but that got lost because it was a coronation for Rory. 68-68 here in this incredibly tough test. What does that tell you about what's inside Webb Simpson?
Well, to back up a 68 here, you know he's got a lot of game, but he's got a lot inside. To win a U.S. Open, even though he wasn't at the lead the whole way as Jim Furyk was, to know what you need to do, be smart enough to go ahead and keep just playing along, and knowing that if you keep making pars, you're going to have a great chance in the end. He learned a lot about himself today, and he's going to be a great U.S. Open champion.
Let's make a pact. When we go over to the Open Championship in July, when we're going to pick the winner, we'll just pick names out of a hat of people that have never won a major championship, because it has been 9 consecutive first-time winners. We salute Webb Simpson, who had a very hard-earned 1 over par win here at the Olympic Club. More on our newest national champion when we join you a little later from San Francisco on SportsCenter.
Yeah, much more on the pride of Wake Forest Webb Simpson coming up later in SportsCenter.
Meanwhile, in Miami, you would think the Heat won a critical game. Then again, they were up 2-1 in the final a year ago and lost to the Mavericks. So a happy Father's Day for LeBron. 29 and 14. He spoke to the media just moments ago.
LeBron, that driving dunk with a little bit less than 4 minutes to go in the 4th. And just describe what you saw as you were heading toward the basket, took the pass from Mario.
I don't even remember that play. What happened? I'm serious. Which one?
You gave Kevin his 5th foul on that one.
Oh, yeah. On the break. Trying to attack. You know, we got a great block. I think we got a block, and you know, Rio got the ball, and I started to call for it right then and there, but I told him to go middle, so I just filled the lane, and Rio hit me, and I was able to finish. I seen KD going for the charge, so I kind of went away from him a little bit and was able to get the block.
How would you describe the way you're playing in the 4th quarter right now of these last couple games?
I don't know. I'm just trying to make plays. Like I told you guys, last year I didn't make enough game-changing plays, and that's what I kind of pride myself on. I didn't do that last year in the finals, so I'm just trying to make game-changing plays, and whatever it takes for our team to win, just trying to step up in the key moments and you know, be there for my teammates.
Chris.
LeBron, Chris Thomas over here. Chris Thomas and Fox Sports. How did you feel when you guys were down by 10 in the third quarter, and how would you characterize the comeback? Was it just kind of a grind it out, not pretty, but get the job done comeback?
Well, how I felt when we was down 10, I knew we wasn't playing our game. You know, they made us stagnant, and they came out in the third quarter and attacked us, and we didn't attack back. So we had to get back to that, and we did that the last 3 or 4 minutes of the third quarter, and we was able to, you know, cut the lead. I think even taking the lead with D-Wade's free throws. So, you know, we didn't play good to start the third, and we can't do that. We can't do that, especially against an explosive team like that. But it just shows our character, how we was able to come back from that and, you know, make plays and regain the lead.
Was it just kind of a grind-it-out mentality?
Well, I mean, that's our mindset, period. I mean, that's just how we play. We always feel like we want to grind out games. No matter how well we may be shooting the ball from outside, no matter how many layups or dunks or fast break points we get, we always feel it's going to be a grind-out game, you know, especially since, you know, we're playing against a great opponent. So it was that.
Tim on the left.
Tim Reynolds, AP. LeBron, everyone knows that everyone on the Thunder is like 22, 23, whatever, except for Derek, of course. How do you guys guard against the next couple of days, thinking that you've broken them, thinking that you've broken a young team and that this thing might get a little bit easier going forward?
No, it's not. We don't have that mindset. Our mindset right now is, you know, come in tomorrow, we try to get better. We have to get better in game 4, you know, because, you know, everyone makes an adjustment. Everyone comes out the next game and do a better job. So, you know, in the fourth quarter, we had an opportunity to extend the lead, and we turned the ball over. We turned the ball over 9 times in the fourth, I believe so, and that's not winning basketball. So, you know, we know they're not broken. You know, and for us, we just want to improve. We want to improve each and every game, and we look forward to the challenge game 4.
Ira.
LeBron, Ira Winderman, South Florida Sun Sentinel. Chris was in here earlier sort of talking about what you said about the series last year in Dallas, that this year you're not leaving anything on the table. You're putting it all together. At the end of the fourth quarter, it was you, it was Chris, it was Dwayne getting it done. How much is there resolve now that while you have nice supporting players, we have to step up, we have to step forward, us 3, we have to get it done?
Well, we got to make big plays. You know, and we understand our supporting cast is going to be there for us no matter what's going on throughout the game. You know, but if the game get tight, you know, one of the 3 of us, all 3 of us, have to make plays to bring home the win. And you know, it was great to see us able to, you know, to close this game out tonight. And you know, we had a comfortable lead, but they made a run. They made a quick run, cut the lead to 1, and then I was able to hit Chris for a layup. He got fouled, made 2 free throws. We was able to get a stop, and, you know, that's what it's about. It's about us just trying to step up, you know, when our teammates need us the most.
Ethan Skolnick, Palm Beach Post. LeBron, you talk about wanting to attack. It just seemed around the rim tonight that you were very physical from the very beginning, taking the ball from Perkins in a couple of situations, going up with putbacks. Again, your mentality tonight played into that?
Well, we felt like they were going to come out aggressive, so I wanted to counter their aggression with aggression, and you know, just try to put pressure on the rim, either offensively or, you know, getting offensive rebounds. I was able to get 5 offensive rebounds to give us extra possessions and, you know, get some second chance points. You know, looking at the stat sheet, we had, you know, 46 points in the paint, 11 second chance points. So that's always, it's good. And also we had 35 free throws. That's a really good number for us. When we get to the free throw line, even when we don't shoot the ball well, that's a plus for us. So, you know, just always trying to be in aggressive mode and do whatever it takes, you know, to try to help our team come out with a win.
On the right.
LeBron, can you explain how you guys continuously overcome a size disadvantage, even as your team rotation kind of seems to get smaller? And also at this point, are you just used to being a big, basically, for this team?
I mean, you know, size doesn't matter. You know, it's about, you know, just, you know, the will and determination. I mean, you know, it doesn't matter if someone's taller than you or bigger than you or way more than you. You know, you just try to put yourself in a position to, you know, get rebounds or to make plays to help your team. You know, and that's what it comes down to. You know, we don't care about teams being taller than us or you know, I guess, quote unquote, bigger than us. Every last one of our guys play bigger than what their height is and bigger than what their weight is. And, you know, as a team, we understand that we don't feel like it's at a disadvantage, whoever we're going against.
Coming up on SportsCenter, the Countdown Crew with a more in-depth look at LeBron's game. Meanwhile, Dwayne Wade joins Stuart Scott next, and I'm not sure if Van Pelt will be proud of that pocket square. You'll judge for yourself.
The Open Championship, July 19th through the 22nd on ESPN.
I'd like my eyes to work when I'm driving my new Passat, and to watch basketball highlights on SportsCenter. Is this safe in here? Safe-ish.
Dude, you don't understand. This is my dad's car. Look at the car. My dad's gonna kill me, dude.
The security of a 2012 IIHS top safety pick, the Volkswagen Passat. That's the power of German engineering.
Right now, lease the 2012 Passat for $209 a month. Visit VWDealer.com today.
Say you're renting a car from Enterprise, and something's not exactly right.
Who's going to make it right?
That's my job.
Our job.
That's me.
If you're not satisfied, I'm all over it.
We're all over it.
I'm your man.
My job description? Exceed your expectations every time.
At Enterprise, we live customer service.
Let us show you what that means.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
The new Miller Lite Punch Top can. Crack it, punch it for a smoother pour. However you punch it, it's Miller time.
Be one with it, and it will be one with you. Be one with your tires, and the road will be one with you. Hanguk Tires.
Thanks for the ticket, man.
Thanks to my State Farm agent for saving me $480.
No sweat. Hey, look, we're on fan cam.
Having the extra cash sure helps.
And I can save even more by combining your auto and renter's policies.
Cool. But what if we bought a house?
Auto and home? You have even bigger savings for that.
Wow, sounds good.
More savings any way you shake it.
Want to split some nachos?
Sure.
Get to a better state. State Farm.
In 5 days.
I want a spell that changes my fate. It's done.
From the creators of Toy Story 3 and Up. Disney Pixar's Brave this Friday. Rated PG.
Friday. Make your next getaway great. Come in for the sweetest deal. Book now for the great getaway. And save up to 40%. Doubletree by Hilton, where the little things mean everything.
Linda Cohn, Steve Levy. Tonight in Miami, the Heat grabbing a 2-1 series lead in the NBA Finals. Dwayne Wade did his part, that's for sure, with his 25 points, 7 assists, 7 rebound performance. And after the game, D. Wade spoke to our Stuart Scott.
The Miami Heat improved to 9-2 in the postseason with this Game 3 win. Dwayne Wade joins us now. The two words that I would use to describe Game 3, funky and clunky. What would you call it?
That sounds good to me. It was, it was a game that was all over the place. Both teams didn't shoot the ball very well. Fourth quarter was certain turnovers. It was a weird game. But you know what? Every game can't be pretty, so you got to win some of them ugly.
Games 1 and 2, the winning team scored 100 points. This game, nobody even snipped 100 points. What's the feeling as a player, the vibe when you're playing a game that's not as smooth and up and down the court?
Well, first of all, when you play a team in the series, after a while, everyone started knowing each other's sets. So some of the things you was able to get early, guys are kind of taking that away. So those high 100 games kind of become limited as the season go on. But when you feel the vibe of this game, you just feel like it's, we do like this. It's a grind. It's a grind. You just got to grind these games out, and we've been through a lot of them. So when we get in those moments, the difference from last year for us is just that experience of knowing that, we just got to make a play. We just got to get a stop, do it one possession at a time.
For the first time in this series, Kevin Durant did not score 30 points. What'd y'all do differently to D him up?
Man, he's an unbelievable talent, man. We tried our best as much as possible, whoever was guarding him, just to try to make him take tough shots. I mean, he hit some tough ones over me. He hit some tough ones over us. But, at the end of the day, we wanted him to see our body and not let him get a lot of open looks. I thought in the first 2 games he got some comfort, threes, some comfort open looks, and that opened up so much of his game. You can't give him that. So I thought tonight we did a good job, just at least making him see us. And he made some tough ones, and we live with it.
When I look at your line for this game, 25 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds, I think, D. Wade had that many? How do you do that in a way that seems almost kind of quiet?
Just as I continue to do, man, just try to, do what I can to help my team win. At certain times, I'm a facilitator. Other times, I'm aggressive. I'm a scorer. I'm attacking. And then I got to go down there and help the guys rebound the ball. So, that's the way that I play. And, it's the years of, it's being loud scoring. Yeah. It's probably not going to be as loud because, we have so many different guys on our team. So right now I'm just finding my spots, picking my spots, and trying to do what I can to make sure that we become victorious.
One of the reasons 25 and 7 seems quiet is because LeBron had 29 and 14. In this NBA Finals, LeBron's averaging 30 points, 10 rebounds. Not how is he different, but why do you think he's different than he was last year in the Finals?
No, it's just that word experience. It's that, he really wants it. I thought last year, once he had a couple bad, moments, he kind of let it get to him a little bit, and then all his shots became that much harder and that much harder. Now he's just playing, and if something go wrong, he can get back right on to the next play. So it's just that experience of playing with this group of guys, right, but also being back in this moment again and thinking about it all summer, saying if I get back there, I'm gonna do it differently. So we got a lot more basketball left, and he got to continue to play amazing for us. But we're confident in the way that he's going this year.
In the NBA Finals, when a series is tied 1 game apiece, the winner of Game 3 wins the Finals 85% of the time. Good news for them. But we know what happened last year when y'all won Game 3.
Yeah, we're going to forget about that. Happy Father's Day
Happy
again.
Father's Day to you, too.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Still to come on SportsCenter. Don Mattingly lost his cool. Got ejected for his Dodgers. Made it a Father's Day to remember for a couple of former Major League All-Stars. And LaDainian Tomlinson will officially retire as a Charger on Monday. But first, we'll look back at a career that will certainly score him a bust in Canton. Stick around.
Our cloud is not soft and fluffy. Our cloud is made of bedrock, concrete, and steel. Our cloud is the smartest brains combating the latest security threats. It spans oceans, stretches continents, and is scalable as far as the mind can see. Our cloud is the cloud other clouds look up to. Welcome to the UpperNet. Verizon.
I've been training all year for the big race in Chicago, but I can only afford 1 trip. And I just found out my best friend is getting married in LA. There's no way I'm missing that. Then I heard about Hotwire, and I realized I could actually afford both trips. See, when really nice hotels have unsold rooms, they use Hotwire to fill them. So I got my 4-star hotels for half price.
HOTWIRE, hotwire.com.
Save big on car rentals, too, from $12.95 a day.
Jason Bourne is in Manhattan. That's all I have. Burn the program to the ground.
You think Jason Bourne was the whole story? There's a lot more going on here.
Who the hell is he?
It's Aaron Cross.
You trying to put me down?
I thought they were dead.
Yeah, he's supposed to be dead.
We have never seen evaluations like this.
You should have left me alone.
The Bourne Legacy. Rated PG-13. Starts August 3rd.
This is the day that we say to the world of identity thieves, enough. We're LifeLock, and we believe you have the right to live free from the fear of identity theft. Our pledge to you, as long as there are identity thieves, we'll be there. We're LifeLock, and we offer the most comprehensive identity theft protection ever created. LifeLock, relentlessly protecting your identity. Call 1-800-LifeLock or go to lifelock.com today.
Dale Earnhardt Jr., he's certainly in a better state Sunday after winning the Sprint Cup race at Michigan. Jr. finding his way to victory lane once again on Father's Day. His last race win, Father's Day, 2008.
Who's in a better state is brought to you by State Farm. For auto, home, life, and banking, get to a better state.
Hey, is L.A. the city of champions? Kings won the Cup. Dodgers have won more games than anyone else in the Bigs. White Sox were out west. Bottom of the sixth, Matt Trainer on third. Elian Herrera flies out to right. Alex Rios the catch. Here's Trainer tagging, and he's scoring as the ball gets away. So that's how the Dodgers tie the game at 1. Now, wait a second. The White Sox are going to appeal. Third base umpire Jerry Meals, he's going to call Trainer out. Take another look. Trainer, on your left, appears to tag up.
Uh-oh.
But Meals calls him out. And out of the dugout comes Don Mattingly. Meals and Mattingly get into it. Home plate umpire Gary Darling involved now. Can you throw out Donnie Baseball out of a baseball game? Yes, you can. Mattingly ejected. Bottom of the ninth, Addison Reed trying to get the save. Juan Rivera, sac fly to right. Bobby Abreu comes around to tie the score. Dodgers all even at 1 apiece now. To the 10th we go. Lots of extras in baseball these days. Game tied at 1. Runners in the corners and 2 down. D. Gordon. Single to left off Matt Thornton. Tony Gwynn Jr. scores. Now watch Gordon get chased down by Matt Kemp. It's okay, they're on the same team. And Kemp's currently on the DL with a hamstring injury. You want him running that hard? Kemp throws Gordon down. The old pie in the face that never gets old. That's how the Dodgers win 2-1.
Leaves more extra inning drama between the Royals and the Cardinals. Rubber game in the I-70 series. Top 9 Cards up 2-1. Jason Mott in for the save. At least that was the plan with 2 out. Billy Butler changed the script. Ties up the game with a home run. Butler was pinch hitting. So we go to extras. We're in the bottom of the 14th. Cardinals down 3-2. Runner on first and third. Tyler Green. Line drive. Now, Alan Craig forgets to tag up at third. So nobody scores. What? Cardinals could have tied this thing up. Craig nowhere near the bag. Oh, my goodness. Green thinks he has a sac fly. Cardinals blow a chance to tie with Craig's brain lock. All right. Next batter. Yadier Molina bails Craig out because he singles, and then Craig actually scores to tie up the game at 3. And we are going to the 15th. Top of the 15th, 1 on, Yuniesky Betancourt. Was an injury replacement for Chris Getz. Earlier in the game, goes deep, 2-run home run, and the Royals beat the Cardinals 5-3 in 15 innings.
Yeah, 9 wouldn't be enough in the Brewers-Twins game either. Brewers looking for their first sweep in Minnesota in some 16 years. Bottom 7, Joe Mauer batting 2 down. The Twins down 4-3. Squeezes one through to center off. Zach Greinke, Denard Span scored, tied at 4. Mauer would actually leave the game. Bruised quad after that play. Top of the 11th, Norichika Aoki is robbed by Ben Revere with a great diving grab. That's how the Twins get out of that inning. To the 15th we go. Yeah, he said the 15th inning. With runners on second and third, Span. It's going to go 4 for 8. That's going to be his first career walk-off RBI. Twins' second 20-hit game of the season.
Great players take over a football game.
And I remember.
Number 21, we get it. You're good. He's stiff arms. He's great.
That hunger was burning inside me. Wanting to be the best.
Tomlinson has a lane. He's in the 15, 10, 5, touchdown! LaDainian Tomlinson.
It was a memorable moment during an unforgettable season. December 10th, 2006. It was that day against the Broncos in which LaDainian Tomlinson set a new single-season record for touchdowns. His linemen lifting him up on their shoulders as Tomlinson held the ball high while Chargers fans chanted, LT, LT, MVP, MVP. They were correct. Tomlinson went on to win NFL MVP honors that season And now, 6 years later, his next stop will be Canton. Tomlinson will officially call it a career after he resigns with the Chargers Monday. The news conference will also take place Monday in San Diego, the place where Tomlinson spent the first 9 years of his career with the Chargers team, which drafted him in the first round in 2001 out of Texas Christian. Tomlinson totaled at least 1,500 yards from scrimmage and 10 touchdowns in 8 of his 11 seasons, the most such seasons by any player in NFL history. 3 players, Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, and Walter Payton, had 7 seasons with 1,500 yards and 10 TDs, and all were elected to the Hall of Fame on the first ballot. Tomlinson is the 5th leading rusher of all time.
All right, still to come, the wait finally over for Dale Jr., but not everyone singing the praises of the 88 Cars drought coming to an end. Oh, yeah, Tony Stewart's going to make SportsCenter. LeBron, 2 wins away from his first NBA championship. Back to South Beach to hear from the Heat. Plus, take a special look at James' Game 3 performance.
Euro 2012. Everything is on the line in the Group C finale. Croatia, Spain, and Italy, Ireland. Tomorrow at 2:30 on ESPN and ESPN2.
Live my life on fast forward, feet up on that dashboard, hands up off that steering wheel. Why I gotta be so bad for? I ain't had to take no class for it. Nickname used to be Fast Pause. Let's go.
X Games Los Angeles starts June 28th on ESPN2, presented by Ford.
Be one with it, and it will be one with you. Be one with your tires, and the road will be one with you. Hankook Tires.
Everybody get closer. Everybody on the dance floor.
Tonight, I choose Fluff, because vodka never felt this good.
New Fluff Marshmallow Flavor Vodka from Smirnoff.
An accident doesn't have to slow you down. With better car replacement, available only with Liberty Mutual Auto Insurance, if your car is totaled, we give you the money for a car 1 model year newer. To learn more, visit us today. Responsibility. What's your policy?
This nation shall not perish from the earth.
Save mankind, Mr. Lincoln.
Rated R. Friday.
That's a warrior right there, ladies and gentlemen.
There is an alien invasion happening.
We're the neighborhood watch. Anything from outer space, kill it.